Hello, we made it. We're here. We're here to talk about the comics and the things, and it's been a while. We were actually chatting a bit beforehand, and that's part of why we're late, because we couldn't wait to get on the live to talk about the comics and stuff.
We just started talking about comics not online, and then we were like, we should go online because technically we're supposed to be online. But as I always say, because I'm always late, we're never late. We're just on time, as it should be.
We're fashionably late.
Yeah. Yes, fashionably late. That's what we like to say here. Fashionably late. How could we be late, really?
So hello, everyone. I was keeping an eye on the chat. I saw that a lot of you are picking up your Superman tickets because they launched the new trailer and you can pre-order and all. Are you pre-ordering?
I will be pre-ordering. I do not have anything pre-ordered yet because I have been busy running around doing everything else. But I did do my reaction to the pre-order trailer because I thought I wasn't sure if it was going to be like new stuff. So I actually had Duck take a peek for me to be like, is there enough new stuff in this? Because it looks pretty long. And he was like, actually, there's quite a bit of new stuff. And I was like, okay, sick. I'll do a reaction to it. So I reacted to that. And I'm very excited to pre-order my tickets.
Yeah, I actually feel like I have to for once. Like lots of times, they run these pre-order ads. I'm like, I'm probably fine. But this time I'm like, no, I'm probably not fine. I think I actually need to pre-order them.
I feel like that and Fantastic Four are going to be like, you need to pre-order them. But I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to San Diego Comic-Con or not. So I kind of need to wait until I decide because they're doing that thing again like they did with Deadpool and Wolverine where Fantastic Four is coming out like at the same time that that everything's happening over with like San Diego Comic-Con. So like those dates are
overlapping.
The same, and I hated it last year and I hate it this year. But I understand why they do it. It did well last year. It was a good weekend for them. And it's like adding hype to their presence at the at Comic-Con. So like I get it, but I'm also just like,
you're like, I can't do all the
content
things.
Creators are probably like, why are you doing this to us? Like, I want to cover it, but I also have a lot of other stuff. So yeah, we'll see. It'll be easier for me to cover if I don't go to the con, to be honest with you.
I am, alas, not going, but that is nothing new for me. Like so many people are asked.
One day you're going to go to Comic-Con. One day we'll go together and we'll hang out. It'll be great.
It's going to happen in the future at some point.
Also, Rapala, thank you so much for the sub. And thank you for lurking. I'm so sorry that you have a migraine. I hope you feel better. Thank you for subbing over on Twitch. Also, friends, as you know, with some of these, if I'm a little less responsive, it's just because when we get chatting. So yes.
Yes. And sometimes we get distracted, but we will pull things up, or I will, because I have the master control tonight. So
Sasha has the master control. Also, when you super chat, it like really highlights it for us. So if any of you are on YouTube, that's a great way as well to make sure that we see it. If chat's going a little too crazy. Also welcome in. Jim asked, what's absolute thickness? That's my nickname for Bane. That's what I've been calling Bane. Because he is literally, like, at one point, he is all thick. And
I have some pictures. I wasn't actually able to like be as prepped as I wanted to be with like things laid out and everything. But I do have like, so if you don't even want to see what Bane looks like avert your eyes. But you already did because I put it in the thumbnail.
There he is. Oh man.
So
also
he is big.
He very big. This is him when he juiced up. But I think the juice works a little bit differently here, which is pretty cool. So even though if you're like me and you're thinking the only thing is like, does the design look too similar because this is absolute, not main continuity? He works a little bit differently is what I will say, which I like.
I don't mind that. There are some certain little accents that I like that, make it a bit different for me. I love that there's blood in the inside the Venom as it's like pumping through him. That's just gross. And I really appreciate that.
The way that it goes through is like his head in it. I was like,
yeah, the way it actually swells up his head, like it made his brain big, like it was just like, ugh, it's gross. So you felt like it was pulsing or something. Poor Batman. We were indeed promised that he would be bigger though. So it's definitely living up to that because I know some people when they first saw the cover, they were like, "That's not big enough." So
it's not big enough. He needs to be bigger. I feel like, you know, I think that thick actually just means, Jim, that you are like large. It says attractively full figured on the Merriam-Webster dictionary, or
well,
thick
yes.
set, which I would say, you know, I mean, to some, this might be hot. Who's to say?
Well,
Some people might be into it.
I have thick with two C's in my title because of what's going on over in Supergirl. So
Yes, you were telling me about we were exchanging talks about hot ladies in comics.
yeah, I know because you messaged me
I
and you were like,
started
"Did
it.
you see like the naked Catwoman?" And I was
Naked
like,
Catwoman.
"What?"
I was like, in Batman, everyone's talking about naked Catwoman. But yeah, apparently thick can be used to describe brawny men, according to the dictionary. So there you go. I would say he's pretty brawny. I think
Yeah,
that in that case, Batman is also pretty thick. He is like a brick house. Not as thick as Bane, though. Bane is absolutely thick, I would say.
there were some really gorgeous panels in this issue, I have to say. Like, this is the issue where they finally start to explore more of Arc M, and there were some really just nice shots in it. And overall, this issue just felt like a lot of the setup from the first arc is now out of the way. And
Yeah.
so it's just kind of like, okay, now we can go for it. And now some of the things that are different are getting a chance to be more different. Specifically, his relationship with his rogues in the main universe is getting to take a really different angle. And I appreciate that.
That is fun. Yeah, I feel like the way that we're exploring everything in Absolute Batman, it's honestly, I don't know, it just feels really like gratifying. Something that I'm really enjoying about the whole way that it's building out the world and the way that Bruce connects to people. I don't know. You know what I also really love? I just feel like this Bruce actually like actually has friends. It's like,
What friends that he'll acknowledge are his friends?
Yes, like he's like, I have friends. I'm like, thank you, which is really refreshing. Even though, you know, I know Batman has friends in the main continuity. It's just like if you asked Batman about it, like I don't know if he knows that he really has. I don't know if he always sees it that way. So I think that's really cool. But I was talking about, naked Catwoman. And then I was like, have you seen this? And then Sasha was like, I've actually been too focused on what's going on in Supergirl. And your response was, I was like, this is definitely something Superman related. I didn't even know the character that you referenced, but I was like, this sounds like, but then I thought it was Absolute. And I was like, oh, you know what? It's probably Supergirl because I know Sasha's reading Supergirl.
Yeah, I'm definitely keeping up with a lot of Supergirl. I almost put one of the images from it as the background, but then I was like, I don't know. I changed my mind at the last minute, but I did save it because
we both went with Bane.
Yeah, I know. And then you sent me yours. I was like, we're on the same wavelength.
Chemdog, thank you for the highlighted comment. He said, there are sexy ladies in comics. Are you sure? Yes.
So like this is what I almost use because it has so many of the costumes, because they have a whole moment in it where she has to try on a bunch of her older costumes, and a bunch of these are like actually the designs, like classic designs from like the 70s, which I really appreciated. So I was like, oh, they're here.
Oh my goodness. This one, okay, so the second one from the left, that's a lot happening with that outfit, you know?
She wore that for a couple of issues, and I always remember, is that the cover where she's being like dragged by her hair? There's one where she's wearing
I think it might be that cover. I feel like I've definitely seen it before, but also like the slit in the front is like an interesting, like clearly she got shorts on underneath, but also just a slit in the front is a bold choice.
No, I loved, like, when I was doing the video, I think it was years ago at this point, which feels so strange to say, about the costume contest for Supergirl, just seeing the designs that people sent in. And I was like, oh, that was so fun. I wish that, you know, we could do things like that, but I don't know if it would go so well. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it's cool when comics pay homage though to all of the actually that was the one that I was talking about before when I was talking about Imperial. This book is a book that acknowledges things. Also, I realized that my camera is mirrored. So I think I have control over that. Let me see if I can flip that for you guys. But yeah, it also is like there's just so much. There we go. Now I'm not mirrored. There. Let's hold this up. Now you can read it. It won't be backwards. But yeah, it's been acknowledging like just everything that's been going on. I feel like what I love about Jonathan Hickman is I feel like he just is so in the know on like every person he writes. Anyone that he writes, it's like you bet he's brushed up on everything or just already knew. That's what I think. He like picks the people. Like, I love this person, so I'm gonna take them, put them in here, and there we go. Also, Cherry, thank you for the highlighted comment. I'm sorry that you're not feeling well, but I hope that you are feeling better soon. Continue resting, rest up. Yeah, so yeah, it's really good. I'm really liking Imperial. You said you haven't read this one yet, Sasha?
I have not as of yet.
You got to read it. It's so good.
It's on my list. So
yeah. When you get around to it. I mean, I think I'm also late. Did it come out last week, right? Imperial?
I'm not caught up on everything week to week.
I hear Duck saying last week.
Office eyes like you're not caught up. But
it's actually old. Also, whenever Duck is summoned, apparently he'll appear. He said he has to be summoned. So I don't know, chat. I think you might have to like chant Duck or something.
You gotta spin in a circle like 3 times.
And then he might appear. When he's summoned, he will appear. It's not coming out. But yeah, so it's really, really great. And it is not what I was expecting. And yet also everything that I was expecting somehow.
That needs to be the quote on the back. Everything I was and was not expecting
all at once. And I just feel like it's such a good setup for where we're going with the story. And the stakes are so like firmly set. And there's so much that is being done. It's just, it's okay. So I just read Wolverine Revenge, which was chosen by my Patreon for me to review, which I really liked when I started off with Wolverine Revenge, by the way. I thought it was really great. And then I read the rest of it. And it was like,
it changed.
My opinions changed. Yeah, very quick. Yeah, the duck dance. People don't summon him, says Kevin. You can't put him back. Quack, quack, quack.
Well, I mean, I think that's the best one for sure.
I mean, I think quack, quack, quack. If that doesn't get him, I don't know what will get him.
What else will?
I don't know. But the thing that I really like about this is it's just a breath of fresh air after reading Wolverine Revenge, which might have been the worst Jonathan Hickman book I've ever read in my life. It's pretty bad.
Been the worst.
Yeah, it was still like
Hickman
okay.
I've ever read.
Are you joining us?
Yes, I'm getting water, but then...
Oh, okay. I have a mic for you.
I saw the quacks in chat.
You saw the quacks and
it
were
worked.
Summoned. It worked. You did it. Jay Parker, it was all you. You quacked. So there we go. Now we know. Next time, you just got to quack a lot, I guess, and Duck will appear.
But much like a duck, I need water to live.
Oh my goodness. Locke is summoning you. Locke did a variant on Uptown Funk for us. We have all of the lyrics in our Discord that Locke has.
That's great.
Yeah, we're going to try to record a parody version for stream so that when Duck appears, we can play like a little intro for him. But also, I just want to record all of it because you did the entire song, Locke. Like, that's insane. It's so good. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll give you this mic.
Hello.
Hello. But yeah, it's because it's got, what Imperial has? It has all those layers, and you're like, ooh, we're setting up a little bit of mystery at the beginning that's going to unwind as we go through. That's really satisfying. I'll make room for you. So
Thank
you.
you.
Can sit over here. There we go.
Hello.
That's how I'm kind of feeling about Absolute Green Lantern. Is just like all of the ways it's tugging on all of the things. It put me down this Green Lantern rabbit hole that I'm still not out
There
of.
we go.
That's great. I love that. Oh, I'm excited to go down the rabbit hole. I need to read the last couple issues. Duck said that when I read issue 2, it might do something to me. I might have some intense reactions to issue 2.
And then issue 3 as well.
Oh, and then issue 3 as well. Great. Well, we have issue 3 here.
Okay, look, can I just say, I don't want to spoil it for Amanda, but that final page is so good.
I love
just
the
look at
final
the final
page
page.
so much.
I love it on so many levels.
But yeah, I need to read this one in 2, but I was like, wait, does something happen to Joe? Don't tell me something happens to Joe. it's still, Joe's still going to be in it, right? And he's like, I can't tell you, but there might be something. And I'm like, there might be something.
You know how hard it is to keep secrets from someone who just refuses to read? I can't. Sometimes I wonder if Amanda can read.
Look, everyone knows here that I'm illiterate, so let's not make fun of me.
You just watch casually comics review videos.
Yeah, that's how I stay up.
Comics.
Sasha's the only way that I can stay connected. Actually, back when we were all working together, I would just go back and like watch Sasha's videos, and I'd be like, "Great, now I know about this." That's my way of learning. I've learned everything from Sasha. It's true.
So funny. Like, I would actually go and like watch through some of your lists to make sure that like we weren't, like
using the same stuff.
Yeah, I would just because I love when lists have different things, Yeah, it's so frustrating when you're looking for something and you go from like list to list to list and it's all the same.
Well, I mean, especially if you're doing like a part 8 or 10,
oh, God.
And I know some people would be like, just do whatever. And I'm like, it can't be the same. If someone's already said it, it's off now, which means if I'm doing part 8, I'm like, my options are really limited. I'm going to have to plumb the depths of my knowledge. I'm going to really have to go and watch a lot of Sasha's videos to find out what to put on here. Because I can't read, guys. It was really hard to write, by the way, when you can't read, if you guys are wondering. It's challenging. Chemdog said, Cloakita, Partha, Menon, Clatch. I'm sorry, I can't read, so I think that's what you're saying, but I'm not sure if that's correct. Something like that. Oh my goodness, you remember me reading through the subtitles? YTSI, I don't know. Do you have proof of that? I don't know.
Pics or it didn't happen.
Yeah, pics or it didn't happen. Are you sure I was reading? Are you sure I wasn't just listening and pretending to read it on the screen? Maybe. Yeah,
so
I always have subtitles on to pretend to read. A lot, and also not as much. A lot and not as much.
So my highlight is I heard you guys talking about this, but definitely Imperial.
Mm-hmm.
I have always been a huge cosmic nerd. The Abnett and Lanning stuff that they did for Annihilation Wave like sucked me back in. That was like around the time where I was like, all right, I'm done with Marvel. This Grant Morrison X-Men not really catching me.
We saw literally
the first issue of
E's
New
for
X-Men.
Extinction, for new X-Men, and Duck was like, do you want to get that? And I was like, I don't know if I need that. And then I was like, don't you already own that? Were you collecting at the time? And he was like, I was not collecting at that time. And I was like, oh, he was like, that's my gap. And I was like, oh yeah, your gap.
No, I got back into comics and someone said like, oh, did you know the Buffy the Vampire Slayer guy is writing X-Men? And I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check this out. And I was like, Emma Frost on the X-Men. I'm in. And then I started reading that. And then somebody said, hey, did you know about Annihilation Wave? And I was like, what's that? And he's like, oh, and he like handed me an Annihilation Nova. And he's like, here you go. Read this, kid. And then
open up his trench coat. Just
you ever heard of Rocket Raccoon?
Oh my goodness. Chemdog says it's the Venusian lullaby from Doctor Who that can be adapted into a duck summons. Oh, well, there you go.
There we go. Perfect.
I knew. See, and it worked because Duck is here and is now stuck, I think. I don't think he can actually leave now that we said that.
Trapped
so thank you.
in this corporeal plane.
So we got Imperial. What did you get? Should we do like a 1-for-1?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of mine were digital, which is usually the case. Like it's kind of a combo thing. Because usually if I know that I'm going to talk about it right away, I'll grab like the digital and I'll do lots of double purchasing. So it's like physically with me, I have, this was my daughter's pick, which was Trinity.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was the other cover I was looking at getting. It was between that one and this one. So we have both of my 2 favorite covers. I just love little Trinity here in her little Robin.
You love Wonder Tot, that they brought back the Wonder Tot.
Yeah, I think it's so cute. I'm so excited to read this one. I totally forgot that Trinity was happening, and then we saw it and I was like, oh yeah, Trinity's happening.
Well, no, it started off by us getting there.
Duck, will you read it to me later?
Me saying, wow, we're not really picking up a lot of things this week. Thank God.
And all of a sudden.
And then Amanda was like, wait a minute. There's this extra book. And Trinity came out.
Batman Hush giant size. I have to have
Batman Hush 2, the Hushening. We must buy it all.
Oh my goodness. So have you read Trinity?
I'm into it a little bit, but my daughter
Okay.
took it first, so I did not get the chance to like fully go through it. But what I have
She's got
read,
good
I've
taste.
really enjoyed. I've got through the first section with little Wonder Tot talking to like Pariah and stuff like that, which has been really cute and really fun. And hold on, let me pull this up for you. Ray Farre, thank you very much, is saying thick Supergirl and Bane. Oh boy, hope you two are well, and thanks for being awesome comic fans.
Bane.
Bane. Yes, and Bane. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat, Ray. I appreciate you. Also, the fact that we get to see your profile picture.
I love it so much.
It's great. And you should
so
keep it
good.
forever.
I like to think that that's how he said the comment too.
Supergirl and Bane. Yeah. Just Superman struggling saying that.
Superman.
Spider-Man. Not again.
It's
This
not that
me
late
all
yet.
The time. It's not that late
not
yet.
that late.
Guys, you have to forgive me. I can't read. I'm sorry. I'm doing my best. It's canon. Everyone
Never
knows.
learned to read.
I never learned to read. Yo, I used to do this on the channel on Nerd all the time though. I would mix up Spider-Man and Superman, and it wouldn't even be. I would be like, maybe I wrote it wrong, because sometimes that happens.
Yeah,
just,
like you're going
piloting.
fast
You're
and like, you know,
rushing through. And then it was like I didn't even write it wrong. Like I just literally read the other one. I think I might have some form of dyslexia, but it only pertains to Superman and Spider-Man.
It was somewhere.
Specifically.
I called you out on it, so it was refilmed and it never made it to screen. But there was one time when you were talking about how Superman single-handedly saved the Justice League.
Yeah.
Despite like being retired for years, and then Spider-Man married Wonder Woman.
Did you just do it?
I did.
Oh my god.
Spider-Man married Wonder Woman
everyone.
at the end, and then Batman became Spider-Man's godfather to his kids.
Mm-hmm.
And you did this whole thing about Kingdom Come,
Yeah.
but talking about Spider-Man the whole time. And I was
thinking about Superman.
I was like, Amanda, you have to refilm this.
I had to refilm
this can't go live.
I don't know what it is, but it happens to me. But I promise I know the difference. See, B. Cooper now is like, did you just mess it up? What's happening?
Yeah.
I'm just a woman doing my best. Okay.
You know,
all right.
Just gonna clip that first part.
Don't clip anything. Don't clip it. Chemdog is
It's
asking if I had
Jojover.
fancy sips before this. This is me completely sober.
Completely sober.
Duck can attest. All I've had today is water and G Fuel. That's it. Nothing else. That's when it's the most dangerous, honestly, I think. And I also get very self-conscious about it when I do it. So I'm going to try to not be self-conscious about it and let it go and play it off like it's chill.
I'll just do a quick thing and say that this is one of the most insane comics I've read all year.
Exceptional.
I can't, especially after Krakoa, I can't believe this is real. Everything about this hurts me.
Oh my god.
Look,
you know, now you're making me really want to read it. Like that.
Sasha,
just, like...
did you know that Mr. Sinister is a more capable telepath than Emma Frost?
It's been a secret this whole time, huh?
And that Sinister I mean, I'm not a big power scaling person to begin with, so it's like
really depends on who.
It really depends on the writer and how the story works. But the fact that Sinister took out Bobby Drake by himself, Kitty Pryde, and was like, "You fool! You think you can challenge me in a battle of telepathy, Emma Frost?" And then defeats her as well. I was like, "You got to be kidding me here! What is happening to my X-Men?
What is happening
to me, my X-Men? I guess."
Also, Atomic Source, I'm going to refund your points. I actually have no fancy sips, like even in the abode. There's none even here.
None to be had.
I need to turn that off. I'll turn that off. But
I'll just end it there. Exceptional. It ends on a high. I keep hitting the dust because I'm just so.
I was gonna say,
so
every time you hit
it,
the entire place will shake.
It ends on a high, in the very last page, but to get there.
You got to go through it.
Wait, let me pull up one page here for you. Here you go. Here you go.
Just oh yeah.
There
Emma.
you go. For the people.
For the people. Give it to them.
This is not focused.
No, but the line is, but now I've gone it and done it. Oh, hell's bells. Yes, Emma, that is exactly what you would say.
Exactly.
Anyway, are you reading any X-Men, Sasha?
I am not currently reading any X-Men. The Marvel thing I'm working my way through right now is Death of the Silver Surfer. So I just started, and so far it's gorgeous. Like I think I love how it looks, like the art inside of it. It's so nice.
We're looking at
does it feel like, because I read the OG Death of Silver Surfer back in the day, Silver Surfer Requiem, back when they killed him off the first time. Is it kind of any feelings like that, like where it's just kind of this solemn, lonely Norrin Rad being like, well, about that time? And
it does have a kind of chill energy, like what I've read so far. Like so far, I'm liking it, and because I know that there's always that kind of meme that comes up. It's like, oh, Silver Surfer's in a movie, eh? Time to kill off the Silver Surfer. But I don't know. Like I think it has potential. But what I am caught up with was Green Lantern Corps. I did get the chance to read that because that issue has the space cabbie in it, so you knew it had to go like right to the top of my list.
if I had room on my pull, I would be. I love the Green Lanterns so much, especially the core books. Anytime the core books come out, they're either delicious trash or wonderful, and I'm happy either way.
The space cabbie has like this new design, and I'm like trying to figure out how I feel about it. Hold on, I think I saved it because like that's how much I was thinking about it. So
also, Phlogiston, thank you for the 100 bits, by the way. Phlogiston said you don't need to be self-conscious, be subconscious. That's a good way to be. I'll live in my subconscious where I didn't do that.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I love it. It looks so good.
Cabbie is on the move.
He's on the move. Oh, I love how he's got his space cigarettes on the dash.
Yeah, I love everything about this panel. This is great. Man, you always make me jealous of all the Green Lantern stuff. I'm like, I need to read more Green Lantern.
Ka-chow.
Please,
Ka-chow?
I wish it was ka-chow.
I feel like it's their variation of it, right? Because they can't do ka-chow, probably. Pa-cow? Sounds pretty similar to ka-chow.
Marilyn is asking, like, ka-chow. We are quoting Lightning McQueen because we've all seen Cars way too many times.
Look, I feel like everyone loves Cars, though, right? Does anyone not like Cars?
There was one time I was stuck in traffic on the way to work, and there was a car that had a paint job to look like Lightning McQueen, and I pulled up next to it, took a picture in the traffic, and sent it to Sasha at work, and just said "ka-chow."
Ka-chow. Oh my goodness. I
feel like I need to share a Guy with you as well. Just because people on my channel, I was like, where's Guy? So I'm like, hold on. Yes. I've got you.
Give me this bowl cut. Oh, severe lack of bowl cut.
No, he's got cool guy hair right now.
His hair's chopped.
Yeah.
Yeah. No bowl cut there. He's just looking cool, honestly.
Yeah, no, he's cool guy Gardner now.
Cool guy Gardner.
Well, he's not no one can be as cool as Red Lantern New 52 guy Gardner. When he had the mutton chops. He had the he had the stash, he had the chops. Beautiful.
Yeah. Does he have like a handlebar?
He had long hair.
Yeah.
Sorry,
it wasn't his hair in a ponytail?
No, he had just long shaggy hair.
I didn't show them the image.
Doesn't even look like himself, that version of him. I love it. Yeah, let's see the Silver Surfer art.
No, because I need to remove this first.
There we go. That's the kind of Silver Surfer stuff I like to see.
So here I am, ready to die. Here we go.
I don't know. I love it. I love everything about this image. Just like the energy of it. It's just so serene. Just all of it. It looks so good.
The colors are beautiful in that panel.
No, it's just there's been so many books that I've read. That person
been crushed underneath the surfboard?
No, he was waiting.
He was just laying there waiting for Silver Surfer.
Not taken out by the Silver Surfer.
Just the way his head is on the rock, I was like, ouch. Just looking at the clouds, and then the Silver Surfer
The true
flew down.
death of the Silver Surfer. He's got caught in another hit and run.
You're going to jail, Silver Surfer.
He's like, Matt, there was another one. I didn't see him this time, I swear.
Someone call She-Hulk. Oh my goodness. She's gonna be gone for 5. Okay, so okay. I know we already talked about Imperial, but I need to just say one more thing. The fact that it's giving Odyssey. If you haven't read it yet, Sasha.
Oh yeah, you were going off on this.
I was like, this reminds me of Odyssey, and I love the Odyssey, like the ancient story.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I can see where it's going. Yes, the Greek story. This is not to be confused with the Romans. Although, based on how we're doing so far, it would be a thing that I would easily mix up in this stream, maybe.
Spider-Man's Odyssey?
Spider-Man's Odyssey. Yeah, Spider-Man's Odyssey. But it's really cool because it kind of feels like what they're doing with it. I don't think this gives too much away for people that haven't read it, but like Hulk is basically like Odysseus is what I was kind of getting from it. And She-Hulk's kind of like Persephone in it. I think her name's Persephone.
You are correct. It is
questioning
Persephone.
Whether or not that's right. Are you sure? Because there's how many Persephones are there?
There's literally 2 books in a duology called the Book of Odysseus and Persephone.
Okay. Because there's also Persephone like in the underworld, right? But that's a different Persephone.
No, Persephone is the underworld. Jay Parker is throwing you
Talking
Penelope.
about Hades' wife.
Penelope. See, I was wrong. It's Penelope.
Is it Penelope?
I knew it wasn't. I was saying Persephone, and I was like, it doesn't feel right, and I don't think that's the name. And Duck was like, you're definitely right, and I was like, I think I'm wrong. So thank you. Yes, Penelope. Persephone is married to Hades. Yes, thank you.
So are you caught up on Absolute Wonder Woman? Have you seen their Persephone there?
I'm not. I haven't, but I need to get caught up. Also, Persephone's in it. That sounds amazing. I'm very excited for that.
Let me pull this up. Ray Farre, thank you very much. He's saying, does Marvel or DC apps have anti-screenshot stuff on it if you're trying to screenshot from...
Marvel does not, because I've screenshotted stuff before to like share it, like to like make a post and be like, oh my gosh, look at this, look at Jeff or whatever I'm sharing. Or if I like see a goofy panel and I just want to share it and be like, look at this goofiness, or like an awesome panel. And you can totally like just like screenshot it and share it. I think as long as you don't like share an entire like book on the internet for free, I don't think that they would mind. Because it's all like just promotion of their stuff usually when people are sharing like a pic. But I don't know. There's also like you can like search up panels and find them too. And I assume that a lot of the times that is also from people like screenshotting stuff. Probably. It's probably how they get it. Digital readers as well, I don't think have that. Like Kindle. You can also
because then you can just like snap or snip or whatever it is that, you know.
You can snap who didn't have any issues? Comixology, rest in peace.
Oh, yeah, Comixology. Although the Kindle doesn't. You can do it. And Kindle does have panel to panel. It's not as good as
when it decides to work.
I mean, it works fine for me on web browsers.
I was reading Spawn issue 2 and it took me to issue 5 when I'm like turning the page. I was like, uh-oh.
I will say I think the bookmark feature is a bit glitchy in Kindle, but rest in peace Comixology. There's nothing we can do. Also, Ray, thank you so much for the $2 super chat and that question. A good question. I don't know about the DC reader though, because I don't have that one. My one thing is that I want to get it because I can get it for like, you can get it for your iPad and like your phone, but they don't have an online browser. And sometimes I like to read like on my computer. I know that's weird, but I like to sit in my computer chair and be like comfortable and read
like this,
like clicking through.
I do that too. Like especially when I'm researching, I just like to see it like really big because I'm like, what if I'm going to notice something in the background or there's like some kind of
see it on your biggest screen. You want to be like, I want to throw that up on the big screen and read that comic. I agree because there's so many little details you can notice. And then you can also, if you're doing panel to panel, the panels are massive. It's huge.
When I read comics, I usually feel like a 90s hacker because I'm like, got all my screens at different
You're reading like 3 comics at once? Yeah. You're like...
Well, I'm cross-referencing. I was like, wait a minute. How does this tie into Blood Hunt? And then I have like the reading list over here. I'm like, but Ryan North mentioned this here. And I'm like going between all my different comics. I pull my iPad out just to make sure.
Goodness.
But yeah, sorry. Last point on, Imperial. We got the Hulk's getting back into things in a cool way. Intergalactic
mysteries afoot.
What is it? The Intergalactic
Council?
Kingdom of Wakanda?
Oh, yeah. Wakanda's in there.
Remember that thing that Ta-Nehisi Coates brought up way back? We're going back to space.
I was interesting too because on the splash page it's like Black Panther's just there, and I was like, that's weird because I feel like isn't this supposed to be cosmic? And then Duck was like, well, like the Wakandan Empire, and I was like, oh yeah, that is a thing that happened. And I was like, I forgot because we haven't talked about that in forever.
And I was like, if you even stepped on some kind of cosmic lily pad,
cosmic at all,
Hickman's like,
knows about you.
You're in this book.
Get in here.
Get him over here.
Black Panther, we can have him. He's cosmic. Surprise.
Amadeus Cho, you're kind of a Hulk. Get in space.
Get in here. Get in space. Yeah, I love it. Chem Dog says Superman's Iliad, Amanda.
Superman's Iliad, yep.
Superman's Iliad.
And yes, it is also like the World Breaker persona is back. It's not just like they dressed up Hulk in a weird suit and they shot him into space again.
Yes, it's actually
World Breaker.
Really happening.
So,
and it's very well done. It's very.
But that's
everyone's masterfully written.
No more. Can't keep talking about this. Yeah, I'm done.
We'll do a whole thing on it, I'm sure. I feel like I need
to. If I bring it up again, we're gonna have to do another review on JJ and Son's Spider-Man.
If we bring it up again, we'll have to we'll like, I don't know, gift a sub or something or a membership.
Yeah.
Stephen Turner, thank you very much, is saying, have any of you kept up with Storm? Excited for a new arc of Thunder Wars with Storm versus Thunder Gods. I know Scarlet Witch, Thor, and Jean are appearing.
Exciting. I am behind on my Storm. I've only read the first few issues, but I want to get back into it because there's so many of you in the community that are always telling me about how amazing Storm is. And Steven, I know that you are really loving Storm as well. And I need to get caught up with that. And I think in Phoenix, because I just keep hearing so many good things about them. The only one that I've kept is Magik. Actually, we have that one.
It's here.
And I actually literally picked a cover today because also... Guess who's coming to Magik? Guess who's back?
Gay icon.
Back again.
Madeline Pryor.
Gay icon? Yeah, I was... Duck was asking me, who would I'll ask this to chat, actually. I'll ask this to all of us. Sasha, what do you think? If we're pairing Magik... If we're pairing Maddie with anyone,
Maddie.
Is that what you're saying?
But hold on, wait. I was like, let me give context to my joke first. When you first pointed to it, you went, Pride! And there was the Marvel Pride issue right beside it. And I was like, Maddie?
No, did I do that?
Yeah, no, you're like, oh, okay. Marvel Pride. And that was it right there. I was like, what?
Yeah, you were like, Magik? I was like,
cover.
No, not Magik. Magik Pride. I was probably pointing to the one next to it, I guess.
Yes, you were pointing to this, which we will talk about eventually. But yes.
So, yes, gay icon Madeline Pryor. Little known fact. I was saying earlier, I was like, Madeline Pryor, I feel like is actually one of the straightest ladies, unfortunately. I wish we can claim her maybe for her sassiness, because she's a very sassy lady.
That's how that works?
Yes. So she can come to the party. This is a rule. I've just made it up.
We're writing them as we go.
We can invite her, I think. She can come party with us for Pride. But I was saying that you were saying, who would you, because we were just talking about her not being with Havoc anymore, and I was saying, but the thing is, everyone wants Havoc to be with Polaris anyways, I think. And then Duck was like, what do you think? Havoc, Polaris, or Magik?
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, for Maddie. And I was like, for who Maddie should be with? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, Magik is on the list? And I was like, well, I was like, well, yeah, Magik.
She's on the cover.
She's on the cover. I think they're just friends, but I would ship them because I think they're a power couple.
Magik is omnisexual, so anything is her
anything
type.
Goes for Magik. Yeah. But for Maddie,
I'm hung up on Maddie and Havoc for their matching costume era, and we need to see more of Havoc.
I miss Maddie and Havoc.
Slave Havoc is
I love
an era we must return to,
because I feel like they're also just both so messy, and so I kind of love them together because it's like I feel like it's them healing through a lot of things.
Not together. Healing those clothes.
No, don't heal the clothes.
All that magic,
Keep
not one
tattered.
Taylor.
Stephen Turner is saying, if Jean has her triangle, it's only fair that Maddie gets one.
Ooh, I like that. Okay. Yeah, I'm down. Ooh. Okay. So the triangle, I guess, would be Polaris, Havoc, and Maddie. I'd be down for that triangle. I could be down with that. I like Polaris, so I say, why not everyone in love with each other? That would be great. Bring it all together. All right, what else do you have, Sasha? Take us somewhere.
Well, I did the DC Pride one, so because that was the one. Oh, I have a digital. I have the like the main one with Alan and his cape, like embracing, like
that was the other one that we were kind of between. Well, that and I really liked. I mean, the Harley Poison Ivy cover is also really good. You know what? I feel like DC wins Pride for covers this year because of the Marvel covers that we saw, and Marvel's I think just came out this week, right?
Yeah, we picked this one strictly because it was there.
Well, there was a lot of options, but this was definitely the best one. I think it's the only one that has Teddy.
All the options were there, but this one was like, I guess it's the best.
Well, it's good. I don't hate it. It
was a reluctant purchase. It was like, do we get Marvel Pride this year?
No, I definitely wanted to still get Pride.
Based on this cover
alone. But the covers are not as good this year. The only thing that I really liked is I was like, well, you know what? Billy and Teddy are on it, so that's good enough for me.
Come on.
That's what swayed you?
But look at this.
That woman in question, and it just says, it's complicated. I was like, sold. I'm in.
This is like a whole like magazine cover, and it's so fun. And also, look at how thick DC Pride is this year.
Well, that's because it was a whole interconnected thing that it did. Like it was more than just like not that I don't want to sound like I'm bashing like anthologies, but it's like because it had a whole interconnected story that ran through it. I felt like it was a bit stronger. It's like even though I didn't love every portion of all the stories and felt some people were written oddly, especially Midnighter and Apollo.
I just got to the Midnighter bit. What is happening here? There's way too much confetti for a Midnighter comic.
Well, like I said, I'm not saying about what's inside because I have to read both my Prides. And, I was a little sad because I didn't see any Star Trek Pride this year, which I don't know if it's happening because Star Trek, I think, ended.
Oh, hi, Midnighter.
Even though IDW still has the rights.
Lovely day we're having.
Well, because
lovely day
all of them are kind of trapped in these kind of like wish worlds a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And
that gives context.
Yeah, and so they all wrote something on like, on the bathroom wall of this like gay bar. And like how people used to mark the walls of speakeasies and stuff like that, just kind of like, oh, like we were here. And so they do a thing like that, only it's been infused with magic. And so it ends up like sucking a bunch of these different characters into like what they were wishing for at the time, which is why so many of them are in it as well, which is a good explanation for why you have people hanging out who wouldn't normally hanging out too.
Ooh. Oh, and they have Harley's look in there. Oh, I like that look a lot.
The only thing I'm always struggling to reconcile is the way they've completely kind of memory hold like Molly and part of Alan's like story. So
I was just about to say, I was going to bring that up. How do you feel about, well, one, Alan's new beard, but two, the fact that he is now that he's moved on from his beard, he has grown one. Because I don't mind Alan Scott being like the gay icon now of DC. No, I like the character. He's great. I think the stories that they've done, especially the Red Lantern one, was really well done. But what I'm still iffy on is how they're reconciling every other aspect of his life, like his kids, and how...
I don't think they're reconciling them that well. And I think there are lots of really interesting stories you could tell with that, but I feel like they're shying away from a lot of them because a lot of the original retcon has to do with the fact that they erased Obsidian from existence. And so, but now that Obsidian is back, and Obsidian, his son, has always been canonically gay, like there are a whole bunch of things with that about finding this out about like his father, even, and also the fact that he didn't raise Todd or anything like that. So there's a whole history there. But then there's also the fact that he had children with one of his villains who was canonically mentally ill with schizophrenia. then there's all, because now that you're
We
introducing
just
the way
glaze over it.
the way they did Alan Scott Green Lantern, they presented it like he's always known this about himself. So I'm like, okay, so then what does that mean for Molly and that relationship? Because I'm like, you're kind of presenting a scenario where it's like he took advantage of like this woman, you know, if you look at it through that lens.
Well, time for to get some kids.
There's a lot of questions that they haven't fully explored there. And I'm like, I like some of the stuff they're doing with the whole Crimson Flame and like that kind of stuff. The two halves of like the same. I'm like, yeah, I get it. It's romantic and everything. But I've read a lot of classic, you know, Alan Scott, and I do value a lot of those stories. And I think that if you're gonna play with it, then like, okay, let's go. Let's go there. Let's you know, let's hit it. You know, if we're gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, there a lot of people would always say like, you know, why would they retroactively make Alan Scott, like all the characters gay? It's like, well, one, like he's had that outfit for years. Like we knew. Like, come on. We've known for years. Secondly, like with Obsidian and like that whole structure and like a lot of how he presented in, especially in like not New 52, but like the 52 era.
Yes.
I felt that he was very much like writing that line, especially when it came, like we're talking about his relationships with his kids or like his who are you seeing, Alan, anyone, kind of a thing. I always thought it was very coded. That just could be me looking into it, but I was like, I wasn't shocked when New 52 came around and they made the New 52 Earth 2 Alan Scott gay in that one.
It's one of those things where like I've read interviews with like Martin Nodell and stuff about like the first girlfriend Alan had, Irene, and it's very much just like characters had girlfriends, so I gave him one. So it's like there's not really like a strong attachment to anything to do with it, and he doesn't have
just what happened at the time.
He doesn't have the same kind of iconic girlfriend that like some of the others do. Like there's not a Lois or a Diane or
it's
like
not like a Bobby Drake, you know.
Yeah. So
oh boy,
I think there's stuff that you could do with it, and I think it would be really interesting to actually explore the relationship that he does end up having with Molly and stuff like that, you know.
On the cover.
On the cover doesn't get a story in the book.
Probably not, does he?
I was reading on Reddit that people are like, it's the second year in a row that he's on the cover
doesn't get a story
with Hercules, and neither of them are in it.
You know what though? That's really disappointing, actually. That
Hercules. I'm still thinking about Alan, but like I really wish like the stories would explore people being frustrated with him or feeling like betrayed or lied to or like, you know, something like that. I think that would be
feels
really
real. That feels like a real,
you know?
like what people
I thought they got close with that with the Red Lantern story.
Yes.
Like they were like this close. Like
I think it's that people are
and
afraid of talking about that because they're afraid that it's gonna like be a negative, like as though that they're like critiquing the character's like identity. But it's like that's just like a real thing that happens. It's not, it doesn't have to be seen. And if you do it well, which I think they can do.
Especially the era that Alan's coming from.
Yeah.
Like all of those internalized feelings and stuff. I would love for him and Obsidian to actually have to like
unpack that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Because that would be interesting. It'd be interesting to read.
It's almost like human stories are like good stories.
We like when things are like, ooh, that's like interesting and relatable and complicated.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I also like when Hal just like punches things with a giant green fist.
Sure.
But like I can also take the...
We can have both. There's room for both.
There's room for both.
Speaking of Obsidian, Todd Rice showed up in Absolute Green Lantern. And I was like, oh, are we going to get some Absolute Obsidian? I just love Obsidian as a character. I'm so happy he's in the JSA book and like doing stuff.
Is everyone an Absolute Green Lantern?
Here's the thing. You need to read.
I am very excited.
You need to learn how to read and then read Green Lantern.
I'm going to learn how to read just for this book. I'm going to tell Duck, don't read this one to me. I'm going to do it all by myself like a grown-up. It's going to be great.
Start here.
I know that one.
I do remember that. It's saying they touched on an Infinite Frontier. I remember because it had that line where he was like, "I loved your mother with my whole mind, and it haunts me." So,
what a great line!
But you see what I mean? It's like there were moments where I was like, "Huh, that's kind of weird."
Also, ChemDog, thank you for the highlighted message over on Twitch, by the way. I did see it. he was saying earlier in regards to Wish World, don't mention Wish World to Amanda. She's still traumatized by Doctor Who. Yes, Wish World, not the strongest episode of the season, but
and also, yes, Otto.
Check out my season 2 review. It's up on YouTube, guys.
Tim Drake is now bi as well.
Yes,
that is
Tim
another
Drake.
thing that
Tim Drake, I think, has been bi kind of for a while, or bi-coded anyways. There he is. He's on there.
He's on there. What is his caption? Robin's dating do's and don'ts.
Dating do's and don'ts. Robin's got it for you. Yeah, this cover is like seriously awesome. They got some good ones this year. But we'll see which one on the interiors wins the battle of best Pride comic of the year.
Stephen Turner with a comment saying the comics code prevented LGBT characters for years. You had to code them.
Yeah.
You had to code
right.
them.
That's right.
Who's the one? Oh God.
Who are you thinking of?
Was it? Oh, it was Mystique and Destiny.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Queer coded since day one.
No, that's 100% happening. I know, like some people, because sometimes you can look at things and be like, I don't know, and like there's actually like kind of like like I can see both sides of this. That's one of those things where it's like, no, like that was that was a thing. And then you also have like actual quotes and stuff for people being like, yeah, that was a thing that I was trying to do. So,
yeah, that was Claremont.
Claremont has come out and been
he was
like,
just like, oh yeah,
that's the thing that I always wanted. But we couldn't do it, so we just found a way to kind of like do it without
work
saying
like
it
around it,
so that it could be allowed. So they could be roommates. That's fine.
And they were roommates.
And they were roommates.
Otto.
They were roommates.
Otto got it too. And North Star as well. North Star.
Yes.
North Star
I think it was Byrne who did it, right? John Byrne. Who was like,
John Byrne, yeah.
He's like, he was gay from the start. Like they just couldn't talk about it. It wasn't allowed.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of characters that were like that. But it's true. People weren't allowed to be queer because
there's so much skirting you had to do with the code. Like you had to hide like pretty much any kind of like we couldn't do like divorce. We couldn't do like any kind of overt sexuality.
You couldn't have two people sleeping in the same bed.
Oh yeah.
No. Well, also like you had to be like separate. There was all kinds.
You couldn't
of
depict
stuff.
it. It was just like if you saw like Superman in Lois's bedroom, it was like, why are there two beds in there?
Separate
Superman?
beds.
Well, it's like that's why in the 70s when they loosened the code a little bit, all of a sudden you have all those drug stories. They're like, guys, drugs. That's why you have that whole arc where like the Reverse Flash is selling drugs, and it feels so like odd from this perspective. But at the time, that would have been like, yeah, he's
that's
selling heroin.
Like, Jack Kirby like burst through the door, like coke still coming off his chin. He's like, guys, they loosened the code. It's our time.
Get in there.
Like we worked Green Arrow. We gotta get Speedy on this.
Yeah, I feel like there's Comics Code is also just weird. Like there's so many things that like you just couldn't do that are like this is goofy. Like the fact that people just had to wear the diaper. Who's got the diaper on?
What?
He's the dragon guy. Why can't I remember his name?
Oh, Fin Fang Foom.
Fin Fang Foom's diaper.
Okay, sorry. The way you started that.
It's a diaper, basically. Is it not a diaper? Am I missing?
Did you get into Kirby's stash? Like, what happened?
That's why I made the Spider-Man.
When the Comics Code happened, when Fin Fang Foom went from a Dragon Man, and they were like, "This Dragon Man doesn't have pants. Give him a diaper.
Give him some pants. Cover that Dragon Man up. Like, it's a Dragon Man. What? Oh my goodness. So yeah, there's a lot of weird things that it's like, why is this the way it is? Comics Code.
There's fascinating things too, though, because sometimes I was talking to Robert Venditti the other day. And it's like sometimes those constraints can actually, even though they're not
good,
they can create some like really interesting. It's like one of those things. Like some people manage to like carve something out of it that really stands out. I always enjoy going back and reading those stories, as you know. So
I feel like it is fun to go back and read. And I mean, like, it's just interesting to explore the history of comics and kind of see like where we came from and how that has contributed to our evolution of like where we're at now.
Well, because that also was the era where they made Wonder Woman the Spy, right? Like that was like
mod, that towards the end when we're entering like the bronze, we get like the mod Wonder Woman era and stuff like that.
That was a weird time, but I mean, at least they tried. They did something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what else do I have here?
Yes.
What's something else. I have Free Planets. issue 2 that came out today. So I need to like take some time and sit with this because this one, as I said when I talked to Aubrey, like it's dense in a good way. There's a lot of like lore. It's gorgeous. It was designed to be read physically, and you can really tell it's got all kinds of like little charts and like things you're gonna flip to and stuff.
Is this the one about like the freedom fighters?
This is the one about like the first free planet where they've then like set up like a freedom guard and they're trying to like I read the preview on this. I was really interested to read it. I think we were all out at the
isn't this the one, didn't they do like a presentation on this one?
Yeah, this is the one that we were looking at together and you were like, this looks crazy.
Yeah, it does look crazy.
I have to show you. Like everyone has like a nice painted like page at the back. And it's just like it's just so beautiful.
There's a lot visually happening there in a good way.
It's the kind of thing you really have to like sit with, which I appreciate. Entertain me. Thank you very much. Is saying, is Dawan the first homosexual character to go bi when he got with North Star's sister Aurora?
I think he's always been bi.
He's always been bi.
Dawan's always been bi. He's gone for everybody.
Yeah.
As long as I've known him anyways.
Like when I saw him last week, like
he was going for everyone.
He's the only Wolverine child who got the added benefit of like the pheromones. So
so also everyone thinks he's sexy.
Everyone thinks he's sexy, and he thinks everyone is sexy. So
yeah,
even like Dark Reign, I think he slept with Moonstone. And then he also tried to sleep with Bullseye, I think.
Yeah, Bullseye was not here for it. Bullseye rejected him.
Bullseye's not here for most things. So
it's not. It's true. People are like, "Hey, Bullseye, you want a Snickers?" He's like, "I'm not here for that."
I think it was during Siege. Where, like,
I'll take it and kill someone.
Full on kissed Bullseye in the mouth and was like, "Meet me after the fight." And Bullseye was like, "What?
What just happened?" It's like, I'm confused. Oh my goodness. Chemdog with the highlighted comment on Twitch said Fin Fang Foom was incontinent. Those were depends. He needed those depends.
Why are you judging him?
I like this lore, Chemdog. Let's just say, Fin Fang Foom needs that diaper, okay? He needs it.
Speaking of not diapers, speaking of fantastic Image comics. Did you read Exquisite Corpses?
Yes, I did. I loved Exquisite Corpses. I got my little card and everything.
Which card did you get?
I got the Lone Gunman. So
did we.
Yeah.
I was saying maybe we all got the Lone Gunman because it comes with
the Lone Gunman issue.
Yeah, because it's like kind of the Lone Gunman focus. We were talking about it and we were basically saying like, will this be like the main character, or will it be that each issue, we'll have to wait till issue 2 comes out, is like a different character that we focus on, and maybe there is no main character per se. But I said the fact that they started with this character, I feel like wherever you start is always really important in a story for most people. But I would kind of love if it was a bit of a red herring. That would be kind of cool.
Outside of the one character who we all know isn't going to make it to the end.
Yeah.
No spoilers. But I would like a story where, each issue sets up whoever they're highlighting to be the main character of that issue to make it seem like they're the one who's going to make it to the end and why.
I think that would be a really fun format. Like, I'm not sure if this one was on everybody's radar. I'm like going to try and like screen grab it so I can show the cover.
Oh yes,
to peeps.
But
so that they know.
I fell in love with it, and like literally as soon as I saw that cover with the Fox Mask Killer, and I was like, "Yo, that's the one." I was like, "I am in. I am completely sold."
Duck was very here for this character. Duck was like a sexy fox mask lady. Sign me up.
No, but then I read the preview of it and I was like, this sounds awesome. And then like actually reading the issue all the way through like blew my expectations out of the water. And like even then it was like high expectations going in.
High expectations going. Yeah. I mean, it's really good. It blew my mind.
I had a lot of fun with it. I really did.
That was a good week for Image because that was also, we picked up, that's goodness.
My next cosplay. For all of those who don't know what it's about, essentially
this would be a sick cosplay actually.
A bunch of the richest people, most powerful people in the world get together once. Is it every Halloween or every 5 years on Halloween?
Every 5 years or every year? every 5 years?
I can't remember, but anyway, Halloween.
Maybe it's
They
every
set
year.
up a date, and every person brings a representative to represent their kind of their stake in the matter, and they all get put in like a small town in America. All of the representatives, and they're all usually like serial killers or murderers or whatever, and they all have to fight each other. And the last one standing, whoever they're representing, basically runs the world or runs America.
And then it's also kind of like not really like Clue, but a bit like Clue in the sense that they all have like a weapon that they like represent, and then they all have to like fight with that weapon. And I was like, wait, so do they just fight with that weapon, or do they have to learn how to use that weapon? And the answer is yes.
It just is.
We don't know. For some people, I think they're like that was their thing the whole time, and for some people, I think they just like were like, I'll figure out how to use this thing, so I can enter this competition.
So you get the whole like
insane.
round robin kind of format, and it's like it's fun.
It's very fun, and I love how at the end they have the chart of
The
just
brackets.
like
Yes.
the brackets. I'm like, ooh, that's so fun. It's like, I don't know. I'm like, I wish it was, I mean, I guess we could still do it as a comic, but I feel like it would be cool if it was like a show. Like, I feel like it's a show we could do like an after the show, like chat. Like if we watch the episode together, like all of us could sit down and be like, okay, so this week, here's what happened. And do like a deep
after
dive.
The Walking Dead thing that they used to do.
Yeah, like that. Like I want to do that with Exquisite Corpses. Like after we finish issue 2, like I want to do
You
like a live
totally
where we
still
just dive into
could. It would be like
could.
a reaction, you know,
break it
type
down.
thing.
Yeah, to just like get in and be like, okay, so we just read it. Like basically, I guess it would be like a comic book club, really.
Yeah.
Just discuss it. But I feel like that would be so fun because it's really cool, and I think the way it's setting up how it's going to go, it's going to be so fun and twisty. I hope it is that way, and that it's, you know, you never really know how a series is going to go. Wolverine Revenge. Yeah, you never know.
You're haunted by that.
I'm a little haunted by it. I just had such high hopes for it. Matt, congrats on the 5-stream streak. Thanks for streaking.
Hello, Duncan Mallory. Nice to see you in chat.
Hello.
No, Wolverine Revenge truly is the J.J. Abrams Spider-Man of Wolverine comics.
I mean, that's a pretty high bar for like things going off the rails.
Have you read it?
Cadaverous, never forget.
There's some cadaverous level shenanigans that happen in here.
I don't think it's as bad as cadaverous. I don't think I would compare it to the J.J. Abrams Spider-Man or Superman. Which one? Just kidding. But it is. It's just meh, is what it is. Honestly, like it's. The weird thing is that it's like, well, this is a revenge story, and you're like, okay, I know.
We're still talking about this. Okay.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was just gonna say, it's like you think you know where it's going, and then you don't know where it's going. You're like, oh, that's interesting, and then it's just not interesting. So that's the unfortunate part about it, is that
I spent this whole time getting a panel, getting this panel from Exquisite Corpses.
Perfect. Yeah, that's basically. Is that everyone that's competing?
Yeah, that's all the killers.
Oh yeah,
but
that's everyone.
We read this together, and we were going back and forth reading the different characters, and eventually I realized that we had both run out of voices, so we had to do like semi-different. Like,
because there's so many killers, like they just kept introducing me. We're like, oh my gosh, how many people
guess I'm going to do a different kind of Southern accent for this.
Well, you have choices, you know.
Yeah.
Add more playing. So.
It's going to be fun when we go back to read that one next time, because I don't remember any of the voices.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, that happens to me sometimes when there's like a bunch of different goons, because I'm like, I always like to give them all a different kind of voice. Like, I don't know which goon was like which one.
And then it's like, what goon voice did I do for that? We really need to just record ourselves saying it.
Well, guess I'm the.
I've done that sometimes. Yeah, I just have a file.
So that when you're reading it out loud,
who is this? And it's like, boom, this was this voice, you know?
There's only a few characters who have like consistent voices in my head. Like Batman is always Kevin Conroy. Joker is always Mark Hamill. And Mr. Sinister is always
Mr. Sinister, the voice I do.
Hello. Welcome to my sinister lair.
It's just my over-the-top sinister voice.
Don't
that I
step
do.
on the cape.
Duck couldn't unhear it once I introduced him to that voice in my head that is sinister that I hear.
The perfect sinister voice.
Yeah, basically Snagglepuss is kind of the vibe that I have for Sinister. Chemdog saying they're all from the first 13 colonies. Oh, and Exquisite Corpses. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's why. So there's 13 of them, I think.
Oh, yeah. Dragonberry Meat is saying, I miss when goon just meant henchman.
Oh, yeah.
Simpler times.
Yeah, we all gooning now.
Speaking of that, tell us about Supergirl.
Tell us about Supergirl.
Okay, so I don't think it's even a spoiler at this point because the solicits had it, the interviews had it, that imposter girl was Lesla Lar.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a fun deep cut, like for me. But they put her in the Lesla dress from the start. So if you've read any of those old stories, it's like, oh, Lesla. And so basically this was the explanation of what happened, like how she got to Midvale and like how she was, messing with the people and making them think that she's Supergirl and all that stuff. But they have this transformation sequence when she first gets to Midvale. And it's just, it's something. I saved it.
Did you save it?
Can you pull this up?
This lovely artwork.
When everyone was talking
for
about
research
the
purposes,
new,
obviously.
Oh my god!
So
when everyone was talking about the new design, I was like, I have a feeling this might be well, not the thickness, but this might be some more.
Has she always been this thick?
No, because like Lesla gets thicker when she like hits the Earth sun out of Candor. That's why she's like, look at me, I'm beautiful, even more beautiful than Supergirl.
Wait, does the sun does that
to Lesla?
I didn't know it could do that to people. Oh my goodness.
She's got the empowered rips, happening all over the costume.
I kind of love this look, though. I think it looks really cool, actually. I really like it.
I really love the art in this book a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not just because of this, but I really just...
No, the art is really good, actually. I really like it. Also looks very expressive.
Sasha not beating the gooning allegations.
Nobody's beating the gooning allegations.
In this stream? Look, we all be thirsting over people. I think that's already been established. Okay, it's happened. I was talking about the ship of Magik and Madeline Pryor that you put in my head. You were gooning over the Fox lady.
Thank you very much. I hope you get to do a video about Jimmy Olsen's love interest, Casually Comics.
Yeah.
I do too, because what a mess.
Am I the only one who actually thinks that his current relationship might be his healthiest?
Oh, with Silver Banshee? Yeah. I think so. No, I think it's actually a really solid relationship that they have right now.
I think Jimmy Olsen's just too hot.
What a statement. Just leaving it right there.
What a statement.
He's dated everybody. He's is he the hottest one around? I think he might be. I'm just saying his history is.
I'd love if it was some kind of deep cut Golden Age lore cover from back in the day that was Superman said I have to date every woman in the DC universe, otherwise he'll kill me.
Yeah. So here I go.
That actually sounds like a Silver Age cover that would exist, which is part of what I love about that.
And it would explain the lore.
I'm about to get spoilery for people in the chat, but I wanted to share the costume that Lesla ends up getting at the end of this issue.
Please.
So, I'm just warning people, because if they don't want to know, they want to, I know it is the first day.
So okay, all right, it's very bold
because they put Supergirl. You can see she's rocking her 70s, her hot pants look is making a bit of a comeback there. And so I cannot get over the thickness that they decided to employ.
Yeah, for
this comic.
Yeah, it's kind of reminding me of Squirrel Girl and Marvel Rivals.
Yes, that's what I said when I first saw it, because she also has the little bunny Candy, like a super bunny. So yeah, it's very striking. Well, we got the purple and green motif, of course, as well.
Purple, green, and orange. Yes. I love that. I think that it's it feels actually also very 70s, just in terms of the colors that they're going with.
Well, there's been a lot of references to that era and certain characters. The outfit that she's wearing when she is pretending to be Linda is one that she wears in the first like issue where she like goes to university. And so there's just a lot of like, there's a lot of deep cuts in Supergirl, which I'm really enjoying.
I really like her cape because I don't like when capes are too long. They're not fun. They're fun because they're dramatic. So like when you're walking around, like I'm always thinking of like, if I had to wear this, you know, instantly I'm already thinking, I didn't even know who this character was before Sasha brought this up. And then I was like,
and
okay,
you're like, I'm prepared.
And I was like, I will be this woman. Now I've decided I'm going to cosplay her and I will read everything probably in preparation for that role, even though no one will ask me any questions, I'm sure. But I just like that her cape is short.
Is saying the colors give it Starfire vibes. A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
I like that. I see it. I see it. I feel like, but yeah, it's just something about a short cape because then you don't get it caught on stuff. It's less likely.
You're less likely to.
Yeah. And like I've had people step on capes before and that's like,
no fun.
You're going to die.
Unless you're Spawn and your cape is alive.
They can move out of the way though. So
it does its own thing.
Atomic Sorcery is right. It's the red hair. Instant draw for Amanda. It's true.
Although taking like,
I'd have to do a wig.
Let me like take the thought pattern. So Spawn made me think about The Darkness, which is allegedly coming soon. I saw like a back cover that was like promising like Jackie Estacado and like his own solo thing. And I was like, yes, because I've been loving Jackie and Witchblade. I don't know if you're keeping up with like Witchblade, but it's been so fun.
So the current Witchblade, I wasn't sold on it initially.
Until Jackie showed up, right?
Until Jackie showed up. And then I was like, I'm back in.
I've been keeping like tabs on it, but I haven't been reading it, but I've been hearing that it's really good. And that it's basically just like Witchblade done again, but like with the knowledge of where it goes. So it's just like,
so it's like, it's more coordinated.
Yes.
You know?
It feels like an actual story and not just things happening.
Yeah, randomly trying to figure out like, what are we doing with
I remember back in high school when I was still kind of like on my comic book, like Big 2 hiatus, and somebody said like, have you read The Darkness yet? And I was like, what the hell is that? And then there was the Darkness video game for Xbox 360. I remember I rented it from Blockbuster, everybody, when that still existed. But I played that and I was like, what the hell is this? And it was like The Darkness, get more from the comic, a Top Cow. I was like,
oh, and then you were like, I gotta read this Darkness.
I gotta read this. And then I was like, Mark Silvestri, wait a minute. And I just dove in. I was like, this is insane. This is one of the weirdest fever dreams I've ever read. It's just a vessel to do good art. Jackie Estacado, he's kind of a character, I guess. And it wasn't until like 4 arcs in that I was like, okay, now we're finally getting into
somewhere
this character.
With the story. Yeah.
Like, this is actually really, and he's dead.
Yeah, I feel like Witchblade and Darkness are kind of both, or were initially kind of both like vessels for like just drawing some cool stuff.
Yeah.
And then
I would argue that Witchblade has like some pretty solid arcs, but it is very art first. And so because of that, like sometimes the organization of the storytelling can kind of be all over the place. But I always felt that there were always some really strong ideas in there.
There definitely are.
Because it was like more art focused, like sometimes they could meander, they'd go off on tangents, and then like things would like be dropped and then suddenly come back. And so like with this, it's like it's taking, I feel like all of the strong elements and just kind of distilling them into like an okay. The only thing is I do find Sarah to be a bit colder than I would like, but like overall, I feel like that's also, she's thawing a bit as it's going.
I like to think of like the OG Top Cow universe as like the original Ultimate universe, where everything was super edgy. It's like, there's some good stuff in there for sure, don't get me wrong, but you had to wade through a lot of the 2000s to get to it. But now it's like, this feels like the current, like the Hickman stuff, speaking of. Ooh. And it feels a lot more refined, and like they've learned their lessons from previous mistakes, and they're like, yeah, let's not so much streamline it, but like let's have a goal that we're trying to achieve with these books now.
I just really enjoy some of the little things, like how she can see like the darkness around him, and like just like a little detail like that adds a whole layer of kind of tragedy to Jackie because he's completely unaware that this is his fate that's just awaiting him very shortly. And I'm like just little things like that. I'm just like, yes, you know.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I need to get into it and like catch up on some Witchblade stuff because I've been hearing good things about it, and I do
think
like
you'd enjoy
Witchblade.
it.
Yeah, I think I would. I've read some Witchblade, and I have enjoyed what I've read of it. So
this is definitely the most accessible.
And you've
Witchblade
talked to
has
me a
ever
lot
been.
about the whole darkness story, like all of the lore, and the darkness is also. And I've read a little bit of the darkness, and I think the darkness also super interesting.
Oh yeah, I was deep in there. I remember I was going to my LCS at the time, and I was picking up their big crossover event that was happening called Artifacts. And there, I just remember him being like, "Why do you read this? Like, this is like incomprehensible." And I was like, "Excuse me."
You're like, it's actually great.
Do you not want the sale? Like,
oh,
like I can go.
Was this the comic shop with the guy who's talking about Miles too?
Yeah, this is the same guy.
Oh, yeah.
The guy who told me because I picked up.
Didn't he say that Miles was like never gonna like make it as a character?
That was also around the time Ultimate Spider-Man #1 with Miles is coming out, and I was picking that up. He's like, "Oh, it'll never last." I was like, "Where am I Where am I picking up comics? Why is this
picking
man
up
like
comics
this?"
from a person that seems like they just don't like comics
And
anymore?
I'll never forget during that
Never
conversation, he was like, "Here, you want to read something good? Here's Dial H."
Here, I have to pull this up for you. Your miles may vary.
There we
It's a
go.
pun that I appreciate.
Dude,
Miles may vary. It's
I
true.
love it.
Also, Chemdog was saying earlier, Mr. Sinister and Mephisto both have the same type of voice. Thank you for the highlighted comment. I respect that. But I think a lot of people hear a totally different voice for Mr. Sinister than I hear. Either that or you hear a totally different voice for Mephisto than what I hear. Because I hear Mephisto as like a very kind of like deep but kind of like sneaky voice. But Mr. Sinister is like all camp for me. Like I just always read him as all camp. Always have, always will.
His first villain group was called the Nasty Boys.
The Nasty Boys.
Come on.
I know, and then Punchline tried to steal his villain group name, and it didn't work.
Yeah, no, it didn't work. But
No.
you know, I respect the try because Nasty Boys is a great villain name. Let's be like, if you're gonna pick a villain group, I think Nasty Boys should be
It
high
was
up
a
on
good
anyone's
name for a
list.
bunch
It's a
of like
great name.
shirtless himbo
He's like,
cowboys.
"Look, fellas,
Yeah.
you might be the X-Men, but you're gonna have to take on my
The
Nasty
Nasty
Boys.
I
Get them, boys."
You're making it like even more camp than what I do. Actually.
Well, this is original Sinister. He didn't have time to like hone his craft
Oh,
yet.
right. He isn't as refined. He's not doing whatever with the Emma.
Well,
He's
no,
not being the best telepath yet. He's got to work his way up.
Like,
to it.
Jean Grey, you're gonna have to clone that one.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah. What else do we have? You got Spider-Man there.
Yes.
Speaking of Miles, actually.
Ultimate
Miles is in this one.
Incursion. They shot Miles into the current Ultimate Universe in an actually fun, interesting way.
I was just
My
gonna ask,
favorite
like,
way.
where are you? Like, some people are like, it's too soon. Like, are you a too soon person, or are you like here for the timing of it?
So for this, for everything that's happening right now, I feel like it's if you've been reading all like the Ultimate stuff, which I don't expect everyone to be doing, I think it's happening at the
Sexy
perfect
Eminem
time.
on the back of that book.
Oh,
I was so distracted.
Can we have give me the ultimatum one?
Wait,
for a
no,
second?
you hold this.
Okay, yeah, I'll hold this one. Show ultimatum. I think you put it back. It's in the other pile because we already talked about
Ultimatum.
it. Yeah. Sorry, I have to now give, I think, a membership to someone because we said it again.
Oh,
I'm
you
bringing up
you're up
ultimatum. one more time.
Imperial. You brought it back up.
Yeah, I'm bringing it back up.
Oh.
Imperial.
Wait,
What
you
did
were
I
calling
say?
it Ultimatum?
Did I say ultimatum?
You just called, yeah. I was like,
sorry,
why?
because we're talking about ultimate. You know what I'm talking about. Imperial. Did I say ultimatum?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes, you
No.
did.
Guys, I promise.
Why are there
I know
M&Ms?
about comics. And then I finished Imperial, and this M&M was just waiting for me right at the back, and I was like, I love that it ends with an M&M ad. Because it's just like
to me.
this epic ending. I won't show you guys the last page, but it's like I finished it, and I was like, that's crazy.
Jeez.
That's there's like a giant M&M here.
I'm so glad I didn't drink my water at that. Cameo's guy says gooning for M&Ms.
There was a big
Welcome to the
M&M,
stream.
and that's how she was identified. Don't judge me.
Look,
Oh
look.
my god.
We're all gooning for M&Ms because they're delicious. We can't help it.
So anyway,
it's a full moon, okay? So it's just...
in this story, I don't know if you've ever caught up or know like the basic premise of the new
Are you just
Ultimate
gonna show
Universe.
the M&Ms?
Well, this is the comic we're talking about.
You should show the front
But
cover.
Essentially,
I don't know if you know about the sexy M&M comic.
the Maker is locked in the city,
I'll gift membership.
which is his hyper-futuristic
over on YouTube. I've said this.
city dome thing for a year, and time has been counting down in comics until he gets out, and then he's going to return. And all the heroes are trying to prepare for his return, and all of the villains, like basically his Illuminati or like the Cabal for the Ultimate Universe, are kind of planning on whether or not they're going to usurp him when he comes back, or how to like help him when he returns. Like, where's everyone going to stand? And right now, we're kind of near the end game of it. We're getting real close to the Maker's return. And now Miles is thrown into the mix. And he's kind of doing the job of going around and introducing the audience who haven't been maybe keeping up with all the Ultimate stuff to like all the characters, all the different players.
person.
He's the POV person. Like, oh, that's kind of weird. 2 Spider-Man. Why is that happening? Anyway, and then so on and so forth. But also in Ultimate Incursion, which was the thing that started this whole event, the Maker came to Miles with a piece of paper because Miles was the only other survivor of the original Ultimate Universe at the time. And he said, hey, I'm rebuilding our home, and I wanted to like let you know that if you wanted to come with me, you're more than welcome, because like, we may not like each other, but like we don't belong here. And Miles turns him down, and he says, well, if you change your mind, and he gives him like a little slip of paper, and he said, you'll know what to do. Miles, like an idiot, immediately throws it in his trash can. And what happens in this is that his baby sister finds it in the trash can and gets teleported.
Show them the panel of his face.
Oh yeah, I'm
you're saying
I'm
this
getting
needs
there.
to be an emote. Over
Just like, oh! and she gets sucked into the new Ultimate Universe. And now, while searching for his little sister, he's going through all the new changes and new characters, so on and so forth.
And I said, one of my favorite things too is I love when Miles just goes on an adventure because he's got to like chase after his baby sister. I'm like, that's so fun. I love that. I know it's happened before, and I hope it happens again, honestly, because I really like it.
Oh no, Billy's in the Savage Land.
Oh no. Something about, I don't know, there's something about like, like kid sibling, like kind of just
wholesome.
Like it's very wholesome. It reminds me of those cartoons with the baby that gets lost. What cartoon was that? And someone has to go get the baby. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Superman?
No.
Ultimatum?
I want to say it's one of the... No, it's not Ultimatum. I want to say it's one of the...
Labyrinth. That was the plot of Labyrinth. He's babysitting.
Oh, yeah. It is the plot of Labyrinth as well.
So...
But I think it's Animaniacs. It's one of the Animaniacs cartoons. Not the ones with the Animaniacs in it. But it's
one like the little sub, like the vignettes inside of there.
Yeah.
Also, thank you very much. I love you, Cam. It's appreciated.
Yeah. Doug, you are right. It was Marauders before it was Nasty Boys, but Nasty Boys is the best.
Absolute Goon Man.
So.
Have you read this? Like, holy shit.
I did read it. I had a good time with it.
I loved it. I thought it was great, but...
Absolute Goon Man?
Why? This is the only page people are talking about on Reddit.
Yeah.
Which is surprising because to me, I just like went past it. I mean, a man's head got crushed.
Yeah. Well, actually,
deflated. What's happening with that?
I had a theory on that actually.
Oh, right. I want to hear it.
I could be completely wrong, but yes, it looks like a man's head got crushed. It's the Bane thing. 100% could be. That's how it is. And when I initially read it, the way that I saw it was that he actually like absorbed the man's muscles through his head. And like left a husk behind.
I can see why you would think that. It's like the little like drip thing like at the end, right? Because I'm looking at it again like right now because it's like you see like the eyeball like bulge out and stuff. But I can see why that would be so gross.
But I was like, what? I was like, what if Bane's like absolute power again could be completely off? He could just be a huge brick of a muscle. What if he like drinks people's muscles?
He
and like
drinks
that,
your milkshake.
and he drinks your milkshake, and that's how
drinks
he
it
gets
up.
bigger. Is he's just like an amalgamation of like other people's mass.
That's
And
so gross. And like that one panel they have, like the Tetsuo type panel, that's like the title page.
Yeah.
Like where he's just like
the one that just
nothing
says
but that.
abomination.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is show them because this is the thickness I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, this is the
This is the thickness.
the absolute thickness.
Yes.
That is a man.
Absolute. His head is right there.
Yes, little tiny head.
Frightening.
But anyway, that's just
Flawless
my
victory,
theory.
yeah.
Again, I'm ready to be completely wrong, but I just thought it'd be cool to stick with kind of like that weird horror vibe that they've been going with their villains lately.
Mhm.
Yes.
I
I
like
want
the
to show
horror
his
vibe, it's so
gross,
good.
like, because we were talking about earlier, Amanda and I, like the Venom like pump.
Mm.
The Venom
Oh
pump.
yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Beautiful.
Just
And
like just how much of it there is. Like I don't know why, but that was like I was just like, ugh, there's so much of it going into him. Like even though like normally it's always cycling, there's just something about seeing it be like bulging like that for me was like, ugh.
Ugh.
The Batman face, like the panel right before this one, is
Oh
probably
yeah,
one
where
of my
his eyes. Yeah,
he just like he gave up. He's like, I'm cooked. Like that. This is it.
This might be it for me. Even this is like I've handled a lot of stuff, but this is pretty crazy.
Mhm.
I like it because it also has that really great parallel, I think, of how intimidating Bane is, like in the main continuity for Batman. And I think they really captured that in a way that is just a good representation of like
well, I love the fight
what the characters
leading
represent.
up to this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they kept Bane intelligent, which is
Yes.
something that I really love, where he's trying to fight him and he's just identifying every type of like martial art he's using and kind of making fun of him for using it.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was such a nice touch.
Which I feel like is a thing, especially in alternate universes, that a lot of people always like to skim over. Is
Mhm.
the fact that, well, first and foremost, Bane is like a genius.
Yes.
And that's why him also being freakishly strong is a problem. He's not just a brick that you throw at things and hope it breaks.
Well, because like everybody remembers that iconic panel, of course, when breaking Batman's back. But the lead up to that was, I always felt really horrific, where he just runs him down mentally, breaking out all of his villains, just orchestrating the scenario so that he'll be at his like most drained, and then shows up at his house. Just
that Alfred is just like, oh dear, can't deal with this one, Master Bruce.
What
My
else
favorite
did you
part about
guys
that
pick
whole
up?
run is just the fact that Bane has like his little like cadre of like friends, and he's got like the one weird bird guy.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, that has stuck with me since I read that initial run. I was like, okay.
Thank you for the highlight.
Can't really talk about this one too much because it's very spoilery, but it's literally called "The Death of the Immortal Thor." This
That's
current
a great
art.
cover.
Oh yeah, all the Alex Ross covers.
Yeah, they've been gorgeous.
Have been fantastic. But yeah, like even opening this up to the first page is kind of a spoiler. The quote for this one, as Ewing loves his quotes, is "Death stands above me, whispering low. I know not what into my ear. Of his strange language, all I know is there is not a word of fear. From death undread, Walter Savage Landor." And this is the second last issue of The Immortal Thor. 25 will be the finale. And does Thor die?
That's the question.
We'll have to wait and see.
Tune in next week.
I may have read this already, but
Well, don't tell us anything.
maybe
Spoilers.
buy it.
Maybe
and
buy
read
it
yourself.
and find out. So
Pretty great.
One of the other ones that I did was Robin and Batman, Jason Todd, because I like Jason. So I'm always curious as to what they're going to try and do with Jason. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. It's very much leaning into perma damage Jason. This is like, we are of course going with like stealing the tires off the Batmobile, like post-crisis Jason, but they're really leaning into like a lot of the trauma that he has because like his mom was a drug addict and stuff, and they're really showing like a lot of like that kind of imagery, which is interesting. The art itself is really nice. I think I also saved one that was just a really shadowed, ominous Jason, because it's Justin Nguyen doing the art, and it's really nice and painterly.
Ooh,
This
really
is like
that.
on the canvas kind of look, because it's very much a like Bruce trying to approach Jason as if he's Dick, and trying to be like, oh, but this worked. Like, why is it kind of
why is this not working?
Why is this not working?
Not realizing that Jason is like a totally different person.
Well, it's also like Alfred's there, and there's this profound moment. It's very early on, so it's not too spoiler, where he's like, like maybe you're not what this kid needs. And Bruce is like, but I'm what all children need. Like,
okay, Bruce.
Alfred, what do you mean? I took a kid after his parents died and turned him into a weapon. Now he hates me. I need another son. I love Dustin Nguyen's art. I think he has one of the most unique styles right now in like current comics. The second thing is, I'm really glad they put him in shadow, because it's really hard to make Jason look menacing when he's in like the little green undies.
And when he's so young.
And when he's so young. So like that shot in and of itself is like that perfect. Like encapsulates everything that Jason is and like what he will become.
Mm-hmm. It plays with a lot of it plays with him being young a lot in some of like the other panels where he just looks like very little and terrified. So it's the kind of thing where I'm enjoying it, but I'm curious how much it will feel like it's added at the end of it. Or it might just be like a really nice atmospheric piece with some gorgeous art. So we shall see.
We shall see. I personally feel like I like the idea of kind of what it's doing. But so is this kind of where we're heading with Jason, like in general and stuff? Because I have been reading
about Hush Tua?
Hush Tua? Hush Tua? Yeah, Hush Tua.
I really like. I brought it up at the beginning as a joke, but I was like, "Oh God, I've opened the Hush 2 box."
Yeah, because you and I haven't talked about Hush 2, Sasha.
No, we haven't as of yet.
We haven't, and I'm caught up, I think, on Hush 2.
Yeah, Hush 2. I like Hush 2. I like that.
I know, I like it too.
So I feel like we need to talk about it, because I just need to talk
about it. Do you also have like thoughts? Do you not know how you feel? Do you?
Fantastic art servicing a trash story.
Wow, shots fired.
Tales all this time.
I mean, there are some things I actually kind of like about the story, but there's also then there's Joker's shoe, and that was, I died. I like literally almost
where
died.
He was like just standing on the pier and he's like, "Oh, Joker left his shoe behind. This must be a clue."
What does it mean?
This scuff, it could only lead to one place in all of Gotham. The abandoned circus.
There's just so much in like and it's funny because right now, actually, with my comic book club, I'm doing Hush. So it's interesting because I'm also reading Hush while I'm reading Hush 2.
And how does that feel?
It's interesting because with Hush, I'm like, so much of this works so well, I think. And I really like a lot of elements of Hush, even though I think that story where it ends up going is not necessarily as gratifying. But the mechanics for how the story unfolds and how it is told, I actually enjoy in it. Mm-hmm. And yet in Hush 2, it's like, feels like almost a parody, even though it's like the same. It's the same, and yet it just feels ridiculous to me. So it's very strange. I'm like, one, I'm like, this is really good. And the other one, I'm like, this is like kind of ridiculous what's happening in this. Even though
I think it's really the characterization feels a bit whiplashy. And I'm like, I'm not sure if that's because I was reading Batman, before this. Yeah. And so now it's just kind of like, and now for something completely different. And I have a panel saved from Hush 2. I have a couple actually, because it's one of those things where I'm deciding whether or not I'm going to talk about or wait till it's done.
Right. So you're just like saving panels, like, I'm just going to put these in a folder.
You'll be waiting because they delayed it another
They did.
month.
It's been delayed. This is just one of those moments from here that's, I don't know, just Jason in this series is like,
what is happening?
It's a regressed Jason.
This is Jason fresh out of the Lazarus pit.
That's why I
shot at me with a gun.
Because I was like, I'm just curious. Do you think that that's something that we're kind of like trying to do, like across the board as we explore the character, like kind of go back to some of that, some of the
he's got the gray streak. He hasn't had the gray streak in his hair since Morrison.
No, but there's weird things happening with designs all over the place in Hush 2.
Oh, don't even get me started on that Riddler design.
The Riddler look is like,
his like on the question mark over the eye.
God.
Oh my gosh. I was like, has he always had that? Just like, that's new. No. I was like, yeah, but also why does it feel like it's like the 80s or 90s.
Well,
It, like,
because
went
there
back
was
in
a time in like, was it Legends of the Dark Knight? I don't remember. There was a story
Also, I'm
where
sorry,
we
we
had a
talked
neck
about this
tattoo.
last time in Talking Comics.
God, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had the neck
tattoo.
tattoo. That's what it
the
made me
neck
think
tattoo.
about. So,
oh my goodness. Yeah, but it's yeah. I mean, like, what do you think? What do you think of Hush 2? How are you feeling about it?
I'm not sure how I feel
It's
about
beautiful,
it.
I
It's
say.
one of those
That's the
things
thing.
where I feel like I need to see where it ends up.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where I'm at
Yeah.
with it, because there are some things in it where I'm like, I'm curious what it would be like to not have all of the like history that I'm coming to it with and to just be reading it. I'm like, I'm really curious. Would it feel like a wild kind of thrill ride where you're seeing all of like these characters?
I am
pop up?
curious. People that
with-
maybe who haven't been reading Batman for a while and like they just came back and now they're reading Hush 2. I
And
wonder
it's
what
because
that
like
is
some
like.
of the characterizations I feel like are kind of like bullet points where like someone might be like, oh yeah, like I know that Jason has issues, or like I know that like Nightwing is the good one in quotes, and like, you know, like all those like, you know, kind of things. But so far it's like the pacing of it feels incredibly fast to me, and like Hush itself is fast, but I'm like, this feels like very, very like breakneck.
Yeah, in terms of the characterization, I was honestly shocked that like Barbara wasn't Oracle when they got to her, and that she was up and walking around. I was like, oh my god, Loeb remembered. Like he got what? So he kept up with someone. But yeah, I do agree. Everyone just feels like bullet points. Like Joker is like, haha, I shoot people, haha, knife. Jason is just, I hate Joker, must kill. Hate Bat Family, and it just feels like that for everyone, kind of. So yeah, much like OG Hush 1, the Hushening, that when I read that without any of the other knowledge around what was currently happening in Batman at that time. So it's like I felt like I really enjoyed it as just that. It's hard to approach this new one with that because we've read Hush 1, and 2, we've been keeping up with things as we do, as is our kind of our day job now, kind of, which is weird to say. But yeah, so I can make fun of it all I want just because it deserves to be criticized, in my opinion. But I could be completely wrong by the end of this and say, wow, they really
well, you know what I
sold
will
me
say?
on this.
It's compelling. And so like the thing is like I wasn't super interested in Hush 2. I was like, I don't know how this is gonna play out. Like, what's it gonna be like initially? And then I heard more about it, and you know, Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee were talking about like coming back to it and kind of what they wanted to do with it. And I was like, that actually sounds pretty interesting. Actually, maybe I would like Hush 2. And then I read the first issue and I was like, this is ridiculous. But you know what? I was like, I need to read the second issue. Like, I just like, I can't not read this. And then I finished issue 2 and I was like, thinking, but you know what? I might read the second issue and I might not be able to keep going. And I read the second issue and I was like, well, now I need to read the third issue. So I definitely am invested.
I had a theory right at the beginning where I said it would be funny if they set this whole thing up as Hush 2 and they wanted it to be Tommy, but they swerve at the end and it's actually Clayface this time.
That'd be so funny. Or it actually does get to be Jason, like how it didn't get to be Jason in like the original one.
Yeah. And this was like years later, Loeb finally pulling the trigger.
I know, it's like finally I got to tell the story I wanted
to tell initially. Yeah. Yeah. I personally think that would actually be kind of cool if that's where it goes. I don't know. I one of the things that I also kind of like about it is that I feel like I don't really know where it's going. And that's why I find it so compelling. And I mean,
well, what if the whole thing is like, it's just like,
what if it was all Joker's shoe the whole time?
It was the Joker's shoe. Jason takes off the domino mask. It's Dan Didio all along.
Yeah, like, but and I think that's also the thing that I believe it captures about the original Hush is kind of just this idea of like you want to keep reading because you kind of want to know what happens. I mean, I really want to know what happens, even though there are things about it that I definitely would critique. And when it's done, I feel like I felt like I needed to talk about it honestly after the first issue, which we did a little bit last time we did our Talking Comics, but it's like, I will need to talk about it in some capacity. I'm glad we're talking about it right now.
I saw someone bring it up in the chat. I wouldn't say it's as bad as this, but there were times when I was reading it and I was like, wow, it really is All-Star Batman again.
Oh
No,
my God.
no,
It's not-
we
it
are
is
not.
not-
No,
I'm not saying
it's
it is
that
not. It
bad.
is not on that level.
It's not on that
not even
level.
close.
No,
but just
no.
where I'm reading it, I was like, wow, this is so pretty. And then Batman's holding a shoe, and I was like, God.
Yeah, but it's like
I would argue it's not on that
kind of
level
fun,
either way
though.
because it's not approaching that level of memery either.
No,
That
no.
like,
I just meant in the sense of like, I love Batman. I love this art. Where is this going? Why is this happening? But
Where
again,
is
this
this
is also
going?
a thing where it's like we have the hindsight to be like, we know what happened to All-Star Batman and Robin. We know where that goes.
yes.
it goes
Joker-
into the void and
Joker with the back.
Joker back tattoo.
Yeah, the dragon tattoo on his back.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Steven.
Yes,
Steven Turner says Joker Folia's shoe.
that's it.
Thank you, Steven.
All right,
That's like,
shut it down, everyone.
pin
That's
it? Can I pin when you say, I don't know if I can pin super chats, but I wish I could pin that because that should be at the top of the chat forever. Yeah, that's
every
great.
stream till it
Yeah.
makes no sense.
I mean, yeah, I could at least pin it. If you type it out as a just something in chat, Steven, I'm gonna pin that to the top of the YouTube chat because people need to come in and just see that. No context. Just that. Chat.
Never any context. Come
My
on.
favorite. That's been my favorite chat of the chat so far. What was I going to say? Also, I just wanted to say, ChemDog, thank you for the highlighted comment earlier. I tried to say this, but then Duck was talking. And I didn't want to interrupt him. ChemDog was pointing out that he believes that they put a new story starts here on Absolute Batman because people were so confused they had to put that on there. I don't know if that's why they put that on there. I think they just want to make sure people know to jump in.
They're hyping up the arcs, which I appreciate.
Also, Superman.
Yeah, do they have it on here? Yeah,
because
new story starts here.
Yeah, because they're trying to keep them kind of timed. Because before this, there was that little like not side story because it did still kind of thematically connect, but Absolute Zero, where it kind of detoured for a little bit, and they had the little Mr. Freeze kind of story that took place. But I actually really appreciated that because I felt that story did some solid building of his relationship with his friends.
I agree.
And that matters, especially now for what's happening going forward.
It's something that, you need to build that. You need to make the readers care about people, about relationships before you start tearing them down. Otherwise, you just,
well,
why would you care?
also, I really liked what they did with matches in that. It was a really little thing, but I really enjoyed the callback to the fact that Matches was initially like a separate person before Bruce took on the identity of Matches Malone. So I just thought it was a really clever and gross way to bring up
that one page or that one panel when he was like, Matches, you okay? And then it's like,
the narrator Matches was not okay.
Matches was indeed not okay.
Also, I don't know if you saw this one, Sasha, but Eric sent a message on the Twitch and was asking us a question. If you can bring it up. Would you three team up for a comic? Says Eric.
I feel like it'd be very off the rails.
Also, hi, Eric. Yeah, our comic would probably be pretty ridiculous. I feel like it would be
have a great time, but it would be one of those things they made like a documentary out of years later or something. It'd be like why was it 6 months delayed or
why was it 6 months
delayed? They said a comic couldn't end an economy.
Honestly, I feel like it would probably be a lot like Batman Hush 2. Hush 2. That would probably be a lot.
Hush 3, that'd be our comic.
Can we team up with Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee? Because if
no,
so,
it's just us.
Just us? We're in charge of it? Oh gosh, who's on the art? I don't want to know. Better not be me. It'll all be stick figures. The question is, which one of us has to do the art? Because if the three of us are teaming up and we don't get any artists, someone's going to have to do that. Who's the best artist between us?
Not me.
One page an issue, and I'm your man.
Okay, great. It'll be a one-page comic.
Yeah.
We'll just blow it up so it's really big. We'll make it a giant size, and then ultra giant size, and then no one will mind because they'll be like, "Wow, it was expensive, but it's really big, but it's also only one page." So this sounds chaotic. I think that Marvel or DC could have a bidding war here to see who gets to have us as a creative team. I'm sure the bids would be quite high.
I mean, I love this cover just because it's like a bunch of people just chilling.
Is that what you're gonna do?
That would be my art.
Right. So you're gonna have the skills of Peach Momoko.
Hush 3, Batman and Hush hang out at a coffee shop.
Oh, hang out at a coffee shop.
And
they talk through their differences.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of my ideas for comics actually tend to be like that, because a lot of what I love to write is something that's like slice of life, but with like layers like underneath it. So like I like something that's like kind of a slice of life, but maybe there's something supernatural going on in or around it, but it's not necessarily the focal point. The focal point is just like the characters living their lives.
Spider-Man and Peter. Oh my god. Spider-Man and Mr. Fantastic working as Peter and Reed, making suits.
Oh yeah, that's one of my ideas.
As tailors for the superhero community.
Yeah. With a guest star by Janet Van Dyne.
Well, yeah, definitely, because she's the fashion icon.
Yeah. So she comes in sometimes and like helps them, and she's like, I don't know why you're doing it like
and
this.
Paul is their secretary.
And Paul is their secretary. Paul is their first customer and then becomes their secretary. That's what I think will happen. And I'm going to make everyone a huge fan of Paul. It's going to be great. Just kidding.
We're gonna have like Paul break up with MJ, but then him and Peter become really good friends, and then the comic is just like him and Peter like hanging out.
And them just hanging out. Never mind. Move over, MJ. It's all Peter and Paul now.
It's just Yuri on ice.
They've all learned to skate then.
That's a beautiful second arc of the book.
There we go. That can be the B story in our issue 1. There you go. Second story in it is just Paul and Peter learning to skate.
Whoa, Aunt May, I didn't know that you were down here at the rec center also teaching people how to skate.
Aunt May would be there. That's so true.
Well, Peter, someone has to make some money on the side.
Oh my goodness. Well, I also love every time you read Aunt May, even though Aunt May now is like, well, actually, no. I think last time we saw her, she is really old
through
now.
both world wars.
But she was young, and remember when she was young and hot, and she was back with Otto for a minute? That was a fun time. And now she's old again. But every time, it doesn't matter what she looks like. Yeah, she's old again.
She's been old.
No, she was old and she was young, but she's old again.
I also always give her an old lady voice, like no matter what's going on.
It doesn't matter.
One of the first comics, it's either Spider-Man issue 1 or 2. She was like, oh, when Peter has to go work at the Daily Bugle for the first time, she's like, I can't afford my medicine. Oh no, I might just die.
Oh no. Frozen. They couldn't handle all the Aunt May. It's the Aunt May. I don't know if that was that. Not disrespect. We have to put some respect on Aunt May, young or old. Yeah, Char is saying she got old, but then she got better. I don't know if that's what we want to call it. They couldn't handle the Hush Chua. This is King of New York. I don't know if anybody can handle all of the Hush Chua because it's been delayed by a month. Duck was saying that before. I saw that when actually right before we started was that they are delaying it, which I'm not entirely surprised by. They'll come back. Don't worry. They have the link. So they'll be able to hop back in at some point. Oh yeah, Snapu is saying too much disrespect for the YouTube gods. Potentially, I don't know. Who knows what the YouTube gods can or cannot handle? It really depends upon the evening or not. Let me just pop on to the Discord and see if they live. It happens sometimes. It's one of those things, like no matter how long you're on YouTube, Twitch, or whatever it is that you're doing, their internet died. They're asking, are you still live? I am. But so we'll have to live in suspense for where the Aunt May story was going. You live.
I have returned.
You live.
So I think my internet was the one that it was weird. I like looked over and I was like, my tower is still good. All my lights are going. I don't know what happened. It was a mystery. I would say, yeah, not as good of a mystery. No, I won't say it again because I already had to gift memberships once. Too risky. I don't know if we're back up. Are we back up? Maybe we are back up. It says excellent connection. Did we just recover? Twitch is still going. Twitch is connecting. Wow.
They were still there the entire time. So I tried to keep them entertained while you were off. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you're hosting it.
I am the
amazing.
host. So,
see, I said we can just jump back in, and Duck was like, "Can we if the internet went?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, if it comes back, we can. I mean, if it doesn't stay dead forever."
This now turns into a StreamYard ad. This is the magic of StreamYard, is
the
that
power of StreamYard.
You can still keep it going, which is one of the things I genuinely love StreamYard.
But
for
Sasha,
all
as a woman who is 147 years old,
StreamYard is actually it's actually super great, and the fact that also when you host, we can put up a stream through your StreamYard without being even subscribed. StreamYard is really good. I wish I had more money to give to StreamYard. When I have more money, I'll be giving more money to StreamYard because I think they provide a great service.
More M&Ms for us.
It's also an Ultimate X-Men.
Yeah, it's in everything. Oh, I was going to
say.
Well,
I like that each one was a different M&M.
Yeah.
You know, that's nice.
Yeah, you got to catch them all.
Variety.
You know? Variety.
Got to eat them all. That's fine.
Got to eat them all. Oh my goodness, you got to eat them all.
Oh, this is something I know you're excited for. Krypto.
Oh, yes.
The Last Dog of Krypton.
So I haven't read the preview yet, but the preview is in the back of like everything.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it's in a lot of them.
I'm very excited for Krypto.
Ryan North said something that I thought was interesting, and I wanted to bounce it off of you, which is that he said that it's going. I'm paraphrasing entirely. That it's going to be a pure like dog adventure, and they're not going to cheat with thought balloons. How do you feel about the concept of thought balloons as cheating? I just thought that was really interesting.
You know, I do kind of think it's cheating because I just feel like okay, so like
dogs don't think.
Dogs have no thoughts. I just think it's a little bit cheating because there are other ways that you can kind of, it's really showing that you can communicate a story and the emotions without having to rely on words to tell the story. And so I think when he's saying, you know, cheating for thought bubbles, it's kind of just like the idea of we can tell you a story without needing to have that in there.
We have Cosmo at home. Okay.
I think
it's that he's trying to make it like an authentic, like make Krypto feel like a dog.
That's right.
Whereas,
if we were looking at a dog, we wouldn't get to be like, I wonder what that dog's thinking. Let me just look at the dog's thought bubble.
But just in general, I love thought balloons. Like the fact that the Supergirl story has them, because then you can do, my favorite thing they do is when you have the speech that transforms into the thought balloon. So you get both. Because then you get to see what the internal thoughts of the character are. And I'm like, that's something really special. And I think it builds such a connection to them. But when you do it with the animals, like when Krypto had his adventures and stuff, I'm like, yeah, that is a bit cartoony. And if your goal is to make him feel like dog lost in the wilderness, you aren't gonna get that if you put like, oh, I'm lost in the woods. And like,
I always felt it always felt kind of weird reading, like, I mean, well, one, as an adult man reading the Pet Avengers, but when you're reading the Pet Avengers, I'm just kidding, I love those books. When it's like the animals who don't normally talk, all of a sudden they just speak fluently to each other, always felt a little off to me. Like in the more recent ones, like Throg, perfectly fine, always talks to people. Bats, but then like Lockjaw comes out of nowhere, he's like, hey guys, how's it going? I'm like, no, stop it, Lockjaw. But that's just me. That's just my preference. I always thought it looked a little weird, but
I think it depends on the type of story that you're trying to tell. Because I'm like, what are you going for? Because I'm like, then that will entirely determine whether they work or not. I'm like, and if you're not going for them there, then if you try and put them there, they'll be awkward.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm just looking forward to Krypto.
I'm also looking forward.
It has the potential to be DC's It's Jeff, and I'm so here for that.
I mean, I don't know if it can be It's Jeff for me, but we'll see. They can try. I love
Krypto
Ryan North.
Has had like series is like over the years. I'd love for that to come back. We can bring back Streaky, we can bring back Streak, and we can confuse people by having a Streaky team up just so that nobody knows what's going on.
Oh, what about Comet? We bring Comet back?
Yeah, I've heard rumblings that potentially we may see some Comet. And I'm just like, let's do it. I mean, there's already a Super Bunny here. We can have Comet.
We can have Comet. Is it just going to be like all of the super pets?
I don't even want Comet as a horse. I just want Comet in like full centaur.
As a man.
Oh, do you want like? Oh, I thought you wanted like the angel kind of '90s version. I was like, are we? You know.
Also, he's also attending the high school. He's like, hey, hello, fellow kids.
What about Power Girl's cat? Is her cat named Stinky?
Stinky.
Or no? Stinky. Yeah. Can we get Stinky in there?
Wait, is Stinky also a Kryptonian cat, or is just a cat?
Just a cat.
Stinky was like a regular cat.
Okay.
Yeah, not a Kryptonian, sadly.
It's like, how many animals survived Krypton?
They took all the animals and they said, we're saving all of them.
The people, they were like, forget the people. Just send all these pets.
Jor-El's like, 2 of every animal.
The Kryptonians are big animal lovers, so they only save the animals. Okay, so what else do you have over there? Do you have anything else?
Me, I'm out.
Well, you're out. I have one left here.
Oh, what do you have?
I have the one we were talking about at the beginning.
Oh, yes. You promised to regale me with like what it was about because I don't know.
Well, I just started it, but I only read a few pages of it. I haven't gotten that far in, unfortunately. However, I will say page 2. Look at this.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. I really like the art in this book already. I was saying to Duck, first of all, what I told you, so the idea is, I'll give you the premise. There's blood and there's thunder. And I believe Blood is this lady who is, I think, like a bounty hunter based on the preview that I saw. And then this is her gun, Thunder, and it's a talking, like, sentient gun. And so they were like, yeah, exactly. That's what I said. I was like, well, I'm into it. And then also they were like, also Robert Kirkman like made this. And I was like, oh, that's fun. And then what I was saying to Sasha was like, it's a little bit of a trap though. But I think it's a good trap.
Created by Robert Kirkman, not written by him.
Not written by him, but it was created by him. So Benito Sereno, and I hope I'm saying that right, is the writer on it. And then our art here is by E.J. Sue. I love the art a lot. And the story we'll see. But from the preview, I really liked the preview of it. And I was like, oh, I'm very intrigued by this. And I mean, hey, maybe they had the writer on that, and I just like it was like in a smaller print. Or
like a little like you know.
But
if anyone's reading Void Rivals, the sass reminds me of like Handroid.
Yeah.
In this.
Oh wow! This art is like really fun. Oh, I can't wait to get into this. I'm just flipping through a couple pages just to check out the art.
Ooh, that's a page.
That's a page.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
I'm going to have to pick this up.
Yeah, I think, and this is the second printing. So, I mean, even if it is, one of those things where they put Kirkman's name maybe in like a bigger to get people to get a little bit more interested in it. I think that the book itself is probably just doing well because it's a good book. I've only read the first few pages, but it is a second printing. So that's usually a good sign. So yeah, hopefully it's as good as I think it's going to be. And I have also been reading the Battle Beast comic, which is Kirkman. And that is also really good. So basically everything I've read from Image lately, I'm like, wow, this is all really good. It's like, it's hard because I want to read more X-Men things, but honestly, it feels like kind of the weakest things that I'm reading right now. Which is like,
do really I have to bring up the Emma losing to Sinister page?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know, because so it kind of depends on how it's written, which I haven't read it yet. But I already, from just from that one panel that you were showing me before, even before we got our issue, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. But Exceptional X-Men has been my favorite of the X-Men books, so it'll be disappointing if this is the turning point where I'm like, oh no.
One comic of note that I wanted to bring up this week, I looked at it. I pointed at it to you. I said, that's a thing. And then we walked by. Was the New Avengers book with Bucky, Black Widow, Hulk, X-23 Wolverine, Namor, and Carnage. And I was like, what? I hope it's fun. That's all I'll say.
It's fun.
I hope it's fun.
I mean, it could be too, but it is a little bit of a thing where we were talking about this today, and I mean, let me know what you think about this, Sasha. Also, Chemdog, thank you for the highlighted message. Chemdog was saying, Absolute Batman and Catwoman have nothing on Black Widow and Winter Soldier in New Avengers issue 1.
Oh.
So maybe I should get it because it's sexy. Is that what you're saying?
Let me pull up that page right
Let's
now.
take a look. Why isn't that all over the internet? But I will say that I feel just that
for
right
research
now,
purposes.
for research purposes, I feel that Marvel is doing a little bit more of the thing where it's like the comics must match the MCU and they must all be
MCU synergy.
one thing. And I'm like, okay, but like we can have stories that are different. I think that's okay. And in fact, you know, the comics are what have inspired some of the stuff that we get in the cinematic universe. So I think it's important to have those stories be different so that you can have points of inspiration, but also make something fresh. Because I don't want the same thing in my books, and I don't want the same thing in the MCU.
Well, no, because they're different. They're different mediums, and they bring different things.
And they're different continuities. Like that's fine, and they can take inspiration from each other. I think that's okay. But I do worry that right now, I feel like Marvel is leaning a little bit more to being a bit too similar, whereas DC, I feel like, is just doing a really good job of kind of keeping these things feeling separate, but still like Summer of Superman. You know, Superman's coming out soon, and
what I love is like how they talked about like what some of the books were that inspired it. And I love that they're actually like naming what they are. Is it actually like,
can you put this
is
in
it
the
anything?
Chat?
Yeah.
Or can you put this up on?
Sorry. Duck just sent me a thing. Can you say that again, Sasha?
Sorry, I just found the page from New Avengers. I was like, I have to read this now. I'm sorry.
Well, if you send it to me on Discord,
yeah,
then I can take it.
Oh yeah.
What is that?
I just like look over my shoulder and I'm like, what are you sending me? Like,
so
also I hear my Discord and I'm like, did you send me something on Discord right now?
It's better with that's what yeah. So it's better without context.
Well, then I'll just put it up. I don't need to explain.
So if we can just throw it up, but I will give it context in a moment as soon as it.
Okay, but then we have to go back to what Sasha was saying. I want to hear about that.
So there's this. The New Avengers are fighting an Elseworlds evil version of the Illuminati. And this is the evil
Illuminati
Xavier.
So buff.
And his head's so tiny. So okay, sorry, Sasha.
No, it's worth it. Now this will live in my brain.
This is my wallpaper.
I was just saying that I really appreciate when they talk about the comics that inspired them, because they've talked about like Superman for All Seasons before and All-Star Superman, but they also now brought up Luthor, Brian Azzarello, and I'm like, I'm so glad that they brought that up, and I think that that's actually one of my favorite trades. And I like whenever I go through trades that are like my faves, I always bring that one up, and I'm like, I think it's so cool to highlight those things and send people their way. But like that story is also, I'm assuming, going to be quite different from how they take it like in the movie itself. I'm like, there's so much value in that. But then when they played the trailer, the teaser to get the tickets, I could hear the cadence of that Lex in the way that the Lex from this movie is speaking. I'm like, that's so fun. And I love the way that the interplay there. I love Luthor as like a book. It's really good.
For me, it was definitely the superior Azzarello villain book.
I agree.
Joker and Luthor. I always preferred the Luthor book. And
because the way it got into like Lex's headspace, I thought was just really clever.
Yeah, the Joker was definitely more of like a fly on the wall, like kind of just hanging out with the serial killer. The Luthor one I felt was really a kind of dissection of the character.
And the way the art in it married with his thought process and the way it made Superman look so evil all the time, I thought was like such a smart choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like what King of New York just said as well in the chat about Nicholas Hoult looking at Superman with generational hate. Yes. I feel like I was a little nervous about Nicholas Hoult as Lex, just because physically I feel like it's not necessarily what I imagined, but also as an actor, I know that physicality is like one element of what you have. And also there's so much that you can still do, even if it's, maybe different than what I imagined in my head. And the last trailer that we just saw was the one that really, I was like, yeah, this is going to be great. But I mean, I also love Nicholas Hoult as an actor. So I was like, I mean, I'm sure it will be really good. And
I loved that, like, that
reserved right
petty
now.
energy. I was just like,
It's
yes.
I feel like he's
he
the
really
type
gets
of guy
that good showcase in
who
the last
definitely,
trailer.
who definitely would have read.
Oh, yeah, he
Luther.
definitely read. I bet everyone on this set was honestly reading. And, you know, the thing that I love is that I just feel like with where we're heading with DC, with the DCU, and I could be wrong 100%, but I feel like it's actually a set that would like encourage you to read as opposed to some other sets and casting where they've been like, we really don't want you to like know anything. Like we'd rather you
just
didn't.
Based on some of the characters who are around, like it feels that way. It's like, here's Mr. Terrific. I'm like, yes, here's his T-spheres and all of those things.
That
So
scene of him
cool.
just like hovering on the T-spheres, it looks so goofy,
cool.
but I was like, it's perfect. That's exactly what he would do.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a good time. And I think it's smart what they're doing where they're taking that inspiration and having those moments, but still creating their own stuff. But then at the same time, you know, there's still comics that can connect to the world. Like we have the Peacemaker Tries Hard Black label, which ties into the show, but it doesn't have to be the like Peacemaker in the comics is now like always going to be just like, you know, our DCU version of Peacemaker. Although I do think there are moments when he kind of leans that way, but I still feel that it's separate enough. And I really admire that.
Steven is saying, it's upsetting the X-Office is in a meh era while having some strong female solos. I hope the X-Office doesn't take the wrong message and abandon female solos.
I hope so, because I do think the female solos have actually been some of the strongest books in this era. And it is nice that the solos are doing well.
Look, you don't understand. We need more Kamala one-shots.
More Kamala one-shots.
We need Kamala in the Dark Phoenix
Every
saga.
time we go to the
we
shop,
need Kamala in Age of Apocalypse.
we were looking at Dark Phoenix, and I was like, oh, Dark Phoenix, this is Dark Phoenix thing? And Duck's like, it's the Kamala thing. And I was like, oh, the Kamala thing? And he was like, the event that's happening, Amanda. And I was like, oh, yeah, that is happening.
We have this conversation
every time.
Every giant-sized book that's on the shelf.
I'm like, what's happening with this Marvel thing? That seems and then he's like, it's the Kamala thing. And I'm like, oh, yeah, the Kamala thing. And it's like, I love Miss Marvel. So it's not that I don't like Kamala Khan. I'm just kind of like, this feels really kind of random, you know? But I don't know. I haven't read it. So maybe I'd read it and really like it. I don't know. Maybe I should give it a chance.
Patrick said Age of Kamala.
That's the age we're living in, Patrick.
It's the thing with all of like the solo books is I feel like just personally, at least for me, it was too many at the same time. And it's just, I can't get everything. And so then it's in a position of like having to pick and choose. And like some of the other things, like, well, I just have to wait until later. And so
too many at the same time is the problem of this X-Men era period.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah. And it's funny because they were like, we're just going to start it off and it's going to be really chill compared to, because Krakoa was a lot.
I remember that. They're like, it's going to be like, we're going to ease
super approachable.
More books than Krakoa. I think they launched with more books than Krakoa had in its first 2 lines.
It's like peak era. Like I was like, you guys said this was going to be less. And then you gave us so much more. And then they were like, we're not going to have things. Everything's going to be doing its own thing. So you can like, everything will have a different flavor and you can tap into what you want.
Canceled. X Factor canceled. You didn't buy these books.
NYX?
NYX, get it out of here.
I'm just like, this is so disappointing. And it's also just disappointing because it's like...
And then they realize, oh no, we canceled the Kamala book. We need more Kamala.
I'm like processing. And it also like hurts me to say it because there's so much that I was excited about for this era. And I feel bad. I feel bad because I feel like I also really like a lot of these creatives that are involved. So it's really not... I don't know what's happening. I mean... I want to blame editorial, but I don't know.
Having like sat through like all of the this launch era is what I like to think of it as. Like I am preferring like the staggering approach that DC's been doing for its minis in terms of how it's been kind of having these little blips, but that they're they're tied to like the main thing. So like Challengers mattered, like, you know, all along the Watchtower mattered. Like, and then you do have these blips that's like, here's Zatanna or here's Trinity, but it's not all at once. And so it's like, I can do both. I can get Zatanna and Trinity at the same time.
Jim Lee just like swiping everything off his desk. He's like, what do you mean we can't watch 52 books at once?
Also, Steven, I agree with you. I do think in X-Men, there is something for everyone. I think they did kind of stick to that. But my problem is that then also some of the things that, were for like this group or that group, they canceled them. Which I understand, when books don't sell, it is what it is. And you got to make those choices. Mm-hmm. However, part of the reason that they might not be selling is because you have 30 books. And we can't buy I want to buy all the books, but like I can't afford to buy all the books. Mm-hmm. So it's like, and I know what I don't buy will die. And I mean, like, it was really hard actually, because I think NYX, I was even thinking of getting rid of that book. And like right after I was like thinking about it, they canceled it. And I was like, I feel like I manifested that, even though I was buying the book. I feel like guilty.
You were loading the bullet.
I was like, I didn't mean, just because they had an issue that I really wasn't here for. But I was like, the rest of it I've really been liking. I don't know, maybe I should drop it because there's just too many books right now. And I'm like really loving everything Absolute. And I have to make choices for my pull list.
It's okay, Amanda. You can go to bed knowing that you were the straw that broke the NYX back.
Oh my gosh. But I kept it. I actually finished NYX. So I did finish out.
You finished it, all
right. I supported it all the way to the end. The thing with there being, when I'm saying that they said there was going to be a book for everyone, and then this happened, it's one, some of those books got canceled, which is disappointing, but which I understand has to happen. Mm-hmm. But two, it's also like they said there'll be something for everyone and it'll all be different. And then they were like, we're going to do crossovers, like immediately. I was like, oh, I thought this was not going to have that, guys. And they were like, it'll be small, just a small one. Oh, okay, just a small one. And then we're going to do another one. Oh, okay. And then we're going to do like one with kind of all the X-Men. And now we're going to do Kamala, like going through like all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, so what you meant was we're not going to do anything, except we are going to immediately do it.
We're going to do all those things. When we said we weren't going to do it, we were going to do it.
Which is a bit intimidating, especially when I just came out of an era where I did really read everything. And I was kind of hoping I was going to get like a little bit more of a chill time where I didn't have to read everything. And then I feel like if I don't read everything, I'm missing everything. And I just hate that FOMO. The FOMO kills me, but I can't.
Oh, you bought Geiger.
I knew I forgot a book. I was I thought I bought this. And yeah, I got Geiger. Still really good. Gary Frank hitting those timelines. Him and John's 15 issues strong, no delays.
Yeah, I think the other one that's keeping on track is Redcoat
too.
Yeah, Redcoat's going too.
Yeah, Redcoat's the other one that's like keeping on.
Yeah,
and I was like some of the others have had to swap artists. Rook is still on hiatus, I think. So
that comes back this fall, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, who's on art for Rook? I think they said, yeah.
But that was also
Fabok was like, I need to go back into the darkness and like regain my powers.
I need to charge up. But that's also, I feel like, intensive. And we already kind of at least knew that Rook was, at least when
they and the thing with Ghost Machine is they let you know, which is nice. Yeah. Like, this is going on hiatus. It's like, okay. And there's like a bunch of other things too. So like you always have something like to read from there. Like I'm obsessed with Hyde Street and the Hyde Street spin-offs that have been.
That's one of the books Amanda had to. Also had to shoot behind the shed.
Drop Hyde Street. But
where did you drop off? Where did they lose you?
It Devours?
No, it was after It Devours. I think I got like a couple more issues in, and then I was like, I can't do everything. And I stuck with Rocketeers. That's what I stuck with.
Oh, Rocketeers.
Oh, yeah. The Rockefellers.
Rockefellers.
Oh, sorry, Rockefellers. Yeah.
I was like,
Rocketeers. That's cheerleaders?
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, that's where I call it. I was like, you don't even know.
Superman, Spider-Man, Rocketeers, and Rockefellers. All we know is that M&Ms are sexy. That's the main theme of the stream. And if you're not with us, you're against us on that.
M&Ms are the thickness that were in the title all along.
It's true. You thought it was about Supergirl? That was a lie. That was to get you in.
Yeah, it's really all about M&Ms. When's that M&M comic coming out, by the way, that they have the ads for? When do we get that? Give us that. Oh, wait, Marvel, give us the M&M comic, you cowards. Never mind X-Men. I just want M&M.
I just realized that this is the Vision cover.
Oh. What? Oh, here?
Like this M&M is the Vision. Where he's like, here comes a vision of the future.
Here comes the red M&M.
Here comes the Giet.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Rocketeers the movie. Rockefellers, I swear I haven't had
gonna
anything
die.
today. This is me normally. I promise. I'm always this chaotic.
I maintain, like I said earlier, it's the full moon. I saw before that we went decide on this day. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be like the full moon night. Like
our brains will be crazy.
It's gonna be madness, you know.
But I do feel like all the Ghost Machine stuff is still doing well.
I'm enjoying every book that
I've been enjoying it too.
Nothing has been removed from Ghost Machine, has it? All the books are still.
No, they're still all going.
I think the only one that I read that I was kind of just like, it's good, I just can't keep it on my giant pull list was Halo and Hornsby.
Oh, Hornsby and Halo?
Or Hornsby and Halo, yeah.
Hornsby and Halo, it's like, it's cute and like, you know, it's the kind of thing that like, you know, my daughter can read. So I'm just like, yeah, Hornsby and Halo gets, you know,
but
stay around.
It's like, I enjoyed it, but I was like, if cuts need to be made, it's like,
I love that people are calling out Alvin.
Yeah,
as long as I haven't had enough cheese, you caught me. That's a problem. I've had zero cheese.
They can hear Alvin because I actually securely closed the door this time. The last 2 times I've had to talk to people, I've thought I've closed it, and then like a horror movie, he just like slowly, you know, pushes it open. He's like, no, I can hear, and I need to be here to talk about whatever it is that you're discussing.
I thought you were going to say you secured Alvin for this stream today. I was imagining him in like the Hannibal Lecter mask, like in the back, waiting.
Oh, Infamous Mike is asking if we've read anything from the Massiverse. Yes. I've read a lot of Massiverse stuff.
I'm not caught up though. That's
I know. I need to catch up with my Radiant Black.
I should.
Yeah, I'm not completely up to date with Radiant Black, but I've read pretty much almost all of Rogue Sun. You've read all of
No One,
Inferno Girl Red.
Radiant Pink.
You read all the Radiant books, and I think the only one that didn't catch me was the Dead Lucky.
I liked Dead Lucky, but Dead Lucky is like, it's not my favorite one, but I like.
Oh yeah, Archivist Adrift is saying I hear Conan is good. Conan is excellent.
Conan is
just such a solid book. It's just good. That's why it's one of those things where it's like it's so solid that's difficult to, you know, come out and be like it's just good, you know.
Duck had to drop Conan, sadly.
I just had to shorten my list.
But that was a painful one.
But honestly, Conan is probably one of the best books on the shelves right now. It's just consistently fantastic every issue.
Oh, Mike, you're saying Cowl is your favorite? I need to read Cowl. I have Cowl. I just need to read. It. But that's good to know.
You need to learn how to read.
I need to learn how to read so I can read Cowl. No, I need to read that one. This is the problem with comics is you get too many and then you're like, I need to read all of this.
I would say jump in at the start of an arc. I don't think you have to start like at the first one, but like, although honestly, I feel like you can just kind of like jump in to Conan.
For Conan?
For Conan?
Yeah.
They make it very accessible to just jump in.
And like because each issue is also like fairly exciting in its own right. And it's the kind of thing where then you'll just kind of want to work backwards. I feel like if you jump in now from where it is. But like it's really and it even had like a little crossover like kind of event that was really easy to follow and everything. Like it's just been really well. And they have plans to keep it going for like quite a while.
They also had the Savage Sword of Conan, like the big book, accompanying book that it had just like text stories.
Savage Sword of so pretty. It's such a good looking book.
It's got that good ink too that rubs off on your fingers if you hold on to it too tight. Oh, perfect.
Oh, and like the trades and stuff, they have these essays in them talking about like the history, like the original stories and stuff. And I love it. It's like it's so nerdy in the best way.
Yeah. Oh, that is great. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, so if I get some Conan, maybe I'll just get the trades.
I can't say enough good things about
they come
Conan.
With essays.
Grim Jim Zub is doing a fantastic job.
There's been a lot of like fun, like just kind of off the wall stuff from Titan too. They've been doing some interesting kind of collections of like history things, and some of their own original graphic like novel work has been really solid. They sent me one called Downlands that I really want to do a full review on because it's a really interesting kind of soft horror that's kind of like kid accessible about this young boy who's a twin, and his sister dies after she sees this vision of this like hound. And so he then goes on this journey to try and like trace the history of the hound. And like through it, he starts to like unravel that the town he lives in actually has all this like supernatural like ghost stuff going on. And like so you get to like jump through like the present of his like search and then like the past of what's happened in like the town he lives in. And it was really good.
See, that sounds awesome.
That sounds really cool. I like that it's like it's very eerie, but not too much.
No, it wasn't too much. It was very much like trying to work through like the grief of going through that, but with like the history of like hounds and hellhounds and that kind of like imagery and stuff, which I thought was really cool. Nice. It was Norm. Who did it again? Because I'm terrible at remembering people's names, like right when I need to talk about them, of course.
Of course. I think we all struggle with that in our own ways.
Downlands, not downloads. You don't know what I want, Google. There we go. Norm Conyu. That's who did it.
There we go.
Yes. Let me pull up an image from it because, you know, we're here. I can save some art. That's what the StreamYard is for.
ChemDog also says, I have 5 volumes of the Dark Horse printed Conan book. Thank you for the highlighted message. Yeah, I mean, if you really like Conan, I would definitely say, I don't know if you're collecting any of the Titan stuff, ChemDog, right now, but definitely think it would be a good one too to add to that Dark Horse collection.
No,
yeah.
not
Wow, that looks great. I really like that. Ooh, okay.
No, like I loved the art in this. It's really cool.
It's so different.
And let me pull up one of like where they're going through the history of like who's lived in the region. Let me remove the thing first. I'm still getting used to it. Like,
wow.
Yeah, see, that looks fantastic.
No, it's just like it's a really beautiful book. And I'm like, I love getting the chance to show some of the different stuff that's out there, you know, because as much as I adore like Marvel and DC, it's like there's so much exciting work happening in like the indie space as well.
So much. It is so true. And it's one of those things that like it's always challenging because I want to talk about indie like all the time, but then it's like I feel like you have to like save it up and be like, I have this really good one and I really gotta like talk. We're gonna do a video on exquisite corpses on my channel.
Oh, you should definitely.
And that's coming soon.
Yeah, that's coming soon, and I want to do a short on it. And it's like indie. I like to try to pepper it in because I know everybody wants the Marvel and DC, but I also know there's lots of folks out there that love when we discuss indie. It's just harder because it's about knowing how to, I think, also approach it in a way so that you can really make sure that other people get to see it.
Yeah.
So that's the challenge with indie because it is a less searchable like comics and scenes. But it's also like the stuff that people want because they want to know like what's out there because it is not as searchable. So it's harder as well for people to find these stories in some cases. And there's so many different and amazing books out there. Like Mike was also suggesting, I haven't heard of that one. Wingbearer. Have you heard of that? Wingbearer?
I have not, no.
Man, see, that's what I mean. And every time I talk indie, it's like there's always stuff that I'll mention or someone else will mention, or there's always stuff that someone doesn't know. It's like, oh, what about this? It's like, I haven't heard, I got to check that out. So it's great.
Yeah, there's one that was recommended to me like years ago, which is like Angel Cat Birdman.
I actually remember that name. Like that, like you just like jogged loose.
Yeah. I just remember it came. I was like, oh, you heard of this indie comic? And I was like, that you just put words together? Like, what is that? And I saw the cover and I kind of skimmed through the art and I was like, whoa, I got to read this. And I never did. That's the moral of the story. But I bought it. It's on my shelf somewhere.
What was that one that you just showed called, Sasha?
It was called Downlands.
Downlands. No, Free Planet was the one earlier.
Oh,
I think. Yeah. And then
I showed Free Planet earlier.
Yeah. Check that out.
Oh, speaking of
no, earlier,
like I gotta get up soon.
Oh, you gotta get up soon. Well,
oh yeah,
you gotta
we
get
have
bed first.
We've passed the midnight threshold. People were guessing before we started if we were gonna hit.
Oh, if we were gonna hit midnight.
Yeah.
We usually do, even when we're like we should sleep. It's like we just keep going. The Moon is Following Us just wrapped up. Man,
it did. Yeah.
I need to catch up, but I'm excited. How was the ending? People like the ending?
Well, I was gonna say, if you guys want to keep going, feel free. But I gotta catch a nap or something.
You're gonna catch a nap
before I get back up.
Okay.
Back to work.
Well, good luck with that.
All right, everyone.
I'll be up for a while.
It's been great, Sasha. Until
Always
next time. Back into my cage.
Goodbye, Duck. It was thanks
Duck
for
has been
being here.
unsummoned.
Yep. To the cage.
Yeah, to the cage. There's no cage.
You keep saying that.
There's no
Why
cage.
do you lie to
I like how you
kids?
say it like
There's no cage. I didn't start the cage. Y'all started the cage. There's no cage. Don't look at me like you're gonna go back to a cage. Why are you hobbling?
It's tight in that cage.
Okay, goodbye.
Marilyn says there's no cage because it's a crate. So
Oh my goodness. The lore, it continues.
it's expanding and in a very dark way. So
In a very dark way. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it is past midnight, but
it is.
I like how Duck's like, well, I need to sleep. And I'm like, I have a lot of work to do after this stream. I won't be sleeping anytime
No, I'm probably, even though I shouldn't, I'm probably gonna edit some more like after this.
Yeah,
Or
I need to.
I
Or
did
read.
treat
I
myself
would like
to a
to
couple of
finish.
things because my birthday's this weekend. So I did
Yes,
splurge
happy
a
early
tiny
birthday.
bit. Thank you.
Are you going to be doing a stream or anything for your birthday?
No, I'm doing a date night with my husband. So you know.
Ooh, that's also great. That's also great.
So that'll be no. He forbid me. He was like, there's no working. He was like, there
On
will
your
be no
birthday.
working on this day. So
I feel like last year too, people were like, "What are you doing for your birthday, Amanda?" And I was like, "I don't think I'll be here. I'll be streaming on my birthday." They were like, "Oh, you're not gonna do a thing?"
I
I'm like,
would
"That
have
is my
been
thing."
had he not been like, no.
Yeah, yeah. He had to protect you from that. That's
He
what
had
I mean.
to stop me. So
Yeah. I totally get that. I feel like it's good to have someone to be like, "Don't stop that." But yeah. Oh, Otto, thank you for the highlighted message. Otto says, "Happy birthday, Sasha."
no, thank you.
Chemdog says, "Did we figure out the over under of after midnight?" I think we're figuring it right now. Oh my goodness.
No, I finally treated myself to the trade of the Wesley Dodds Sandman.
Ooh.
So yes. I've always really liked Riley Rossmo's art, and so I just thought this series looked absolutely
it looks so good in the
gorgeous.
trade.
And I
Gorgeous.
love Wesley Dodds Sandman, and for those who follow on stream, they'll know that they're finally releasing the second compendium of Sandman Mystery Theater, which means for the first time it's going to actually all be collected. I'm so excited. I have it marked. I'm like, August is when it's happening.
That's so exciting. That's awesome. So they're gonna release all of it collected.
It's finally, they've tried to collect it like this is the third time. So I'm like, third time's the charm. Like this time it's gonna be finished. They're gonna collect all of it.
I hope that it goes well. Has it have they announced it in the past?
They did. They
then gone back on it and been
they haven't announced. They haven't announced it and gone back. So like this time, it's been announced.
So that feels legit. That feels legit.
Like,
it's gonna happen. This is the time. This is the moment.
One sale. Like, come on.
Just for me. Give me this book. That sounds really awesome. I feel like that's a good treat to treat yourself to just a book that you've wanted. I treated myself. It wasn't even my birthday. I just treated myself to it because I wanted it really badly. I think, did I tell you about my Farre sector that I got? My deluxe edition?
No, you got the deluxe?
I got the deluxe. And it is so beautiful. And I got the trade originally for Farre Sector and I gave it to someone. I loaned it to them to read.
Yeah,
and
you
then,
told me, and then
I didn't get it back. It vanished. But I don't mind when my books vanish necessarily because I always think, it's hopefully it's with someone that really loved it and enjoyed it. And I gifted someone the connection to a new book, which is always great.
Also, thank you very much, Jay Parker. It is appreciated. Hopefully it will be a good birthday. And also happy early birthday to Patrick, who said that his birthday is coming in the week. June.
Yes,
Geminis.
June. Gemini love. Yes, I think Eric, did you also say that your birthday is? And so did Chemdog. A lot of June babies in the chat.
Geminis unite.
Wow.
So
Yeah, happy early birthdays or belated birthdays to all the folks born in June. June is a great month to have your birthday, by the way. I think I'm jealous that you have a birthday in June. My birthday's in November, so like no one ever wants to do anything. And while it's still November.
I didn't like the June birthday because like school's like getting out, people are going away, and like, you know,
so it's like hard to get people together.
It could be hard to get people to come like to a birthday party or something. But like now as an adult, it's like, and you don't even, as an adult, it's great. You don't even have to do it on the day or the week. You can just be like, hey, I'm celebrating it like at this time, like show up if you want to. So
I honestly want to have a summer birthday because I just want to do it. So I'm like, I mean, I could just celebrate my November birthday in like August if I want to, because I'm an adult, so I can celebrate it whenever I want. Yeah, like I could just be like, it's my birthday, and then people will say, "It's your birthday now?" And I'll say, "No, but I'm celebrating it anyways." And they'll say, "Oh, okay, that's fine.
Like, I'm choosing this day."
I've chosen what day to celebrate, because yeah, the hard thing is with winter birthdays, no one wants to leave. But it is true. When you're in school, it is a time when like everyone is at least around. So it's easier to invite people to things. And, you know, people aren't really stopped as much by weather because their parents are usually like, well, my kid was invited to this thing, so I have to bring them there.
Well, I will tell you the plan that I have because I'm actually really excited about it. So it's like I'm going to one of those like lip bars where you get to make your own lipstick and you can like design like whatever color like you want. And so I'm like, yes. I wanted, because I checked and they have like all the weird ones, and I've always wanted to make like a black that's like tinted with green. So I'm like, now is the time. Like the time is now. Like
that's also just so unique because I feel like you don't see a color like that.
Well, because I'm like, if you're gonna go make it, I'm like, I want it to be weird. I'm like, if I'm like gonna go and make,
it's got to be something you could never get. Like it would just be exclusive to like, I made this and that's the only reason I have it.
Exactly. I'm like, that'll be, because like I was watching like, you know, some of those like old like makeup videos about people having like signature shades and stuff. I'm like, that's so fun. Like
that is fun. People had signature shades.
Well, it's like, it would be like, you know, like usually it'd be from a company or something like, oh, I only wear this. But I'm like, how cool would it be to be like, you know, like a celebrity where you have like a color that's like just yours, you know?
I mean, yeah, that's pretty cool. I feel like that's pretty, like, that's like a brand to like the highest level of like, this is my shade, my signature shade. Also, how cool would it be? Like, would that not be like the coolest thing? I don't know. Can we like have like a nerd lipstick line? But it'd be really cool if you had like a nerd lipstick line and the shades were like unique to you and like represented, I don't know, like different comics or something. I guess that kind of exists.
I've always like, whenever they do a collab, I'm always there. Like, even though they rarely like, I feel like hits, you know, the theme or the energy, I'm still always there because I think they're so fun.
That's what I mean. Like if you did one, then you could be sure that it would hit the theme and the energy. Because I feel like sometimes when people do those collabs, it's like they're just using the IP to sell the palettes.
But or the packaging, which is like a big part of it, you know.
Which, like, you know, cool packaging is a decent enough reason to buy cosmetics, because packaging
I still have my Kylie Cosmetics Batman makeup palette. So
but how cool would it be to have like quality product that like was a good palette that also embodies the essence of what it represents? Basically what I'm saying is, for your merch, Sasha, you should do a makeup line and I'll buy it, and I hope everyone else would buy it.
Sale. So see, it's worth
there you go.
It's like the Sandman mystery.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. That's such a fun. So then is your husband coming with you to
No, I'm gonna do that with some friends. And then you know, he doesn't want to do that. So
yeah, I was gonna say. It'd kind of be fun to get the input. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like some people might be into it, but I don't know. Find yourself someone that wants to come to the lip bar with you. That's my dream, I guess, in my mind. One day I'll have a partner that wants to make lipsticks with me. Oh my goodness. Everyone's talking about all the Superman stuff in chat. I'm excited. I'm
really looking forward to it. I'm enjoying the summer of Superman so far, even though I think technically summer starts in June, if we're like being pedantic about it. Like,
I think technically it starts in a few days. Yeah, I don't think it's but I've been saying to people like, how's your summer going? Even though I'm like, I don't think
because it already feels like it. So
it's very hot. So yes, it is weird. I feel like we didn't actually have a spring. We just jumped ahead to summer. It was like a weird, it was just cold, and then all of a sudden, boom, summer was here.
People are saying the 21st. Oh, so my calendar's lying to 21st. Me? It's full of lies. So
wow, the 21st. So we have a little bit of time to go. To Stephen, with global warming, summer starts. Yeah, I feel that. I feel the heat. It's hot in here. I mean, it's even hot in here, honestly.
I just blame that on the lights and the computers. I'm like, it can't be a proper temperature in here ever. So.
It is warm, and I'm always warm when I'm like, even if it's winter outside, I'm like, oh, I'm so hot. I need to put on shorts. And people are like, isn't it freezing outside? I'm like, yeah, but it's warm in here because of all these lights that are on. I know but I mean, my lights don't get hot, but I think it's just the light being on you. It makes you hot. Because I have.
Well, it's also one of the things about streaming is that you are expending energy, and so it's like you
heats you up
as you're doing it. You know, it's the same reason at the end, like you're always hungry. So
yeah, you're always hungry and you're always tired, and you're like, I didn't do anything. Also, my knees always hurt, but that's because I always sit like you guys can't see right now, but I'm sitting cross-legged. I sit cross-legged like all day, and I'm like, this is like not good for my knees. Like my knees are going to be shot in a few years because I'm choosing to sit this way, but it's my most comfortable way to sit. I love sitting cross-legged, and then I finish a stream and I'm like, I'm sore, I'm hungry, I'm exhausted, I'm hot. It feels like I just ran a marathon.
I think you feel the same way I do. I'm always so hyped up after, like I have so much energy.
Yeah, we've both talked
even
about
though I'm tired, I need to do things.
I should go to bed, but I'm going to work for like 2 hours because now I have all this energy and it's like creative energy. I think it's also because when we stream, it's kind of like an energy exchange as well. And I mean, even more so when you're doing a collab, because now it's like we're giving each other energy. Sorry, this way, you and me. And then also chat is giving us energy. And then it's like, we have your chat and my chat and Twitch chat. It's a lot of beautiful chats. It's great. Yeah. Also, do I run AC, says Stephen? I don't have AC. That doesn't exist for me. I have a fan over there. That's all I got. I don't have AC.
I have the fan and the AC on. So if you can't hear it, then it's not, then
I can't hear it. I think you're good.
Good to know.
Yeah, that's great. I usually don't run my fan when I'm streaming because it is like, especially where it is. And if I wanted to point it on me, it would like go onto my mic. So I just sweat it out, which is great.
But I actually am being summoned. So we do actually need to get to bed and stuff. But thank you everyone for coming and hanging out. It was a lot of fun as always. And we will collab again at some point, as always. So
we shall. Also, we still need to. You need to come play Marvel Rivals with me. I saw Mihai asking what's going to happen with my gameplays. They will continue as normal, including we're going to do Marvel Rivals on Monday. Speaking of gameplays, and tomorrow we'll be playing A Way Out with Lucy. So if you guys want to check that out, it's the end of A Way Out, and I know how it ends, and it will be dramatic. But we need to do some Marvel Rivals together, and we also need to talk about doing our Batman watch through. I feel like
we do. Fun. We need to coordinate that.
We should coordinate and just find some time. But
yes,
we will be back at some point doing something.
Yes. Have a good day, night, or whatever it is. All right. We will see you.
Bye, guys. Bye.